No.
Okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. I am honored when I am able to see my residents and residents throughout our community be here today. Without you, it wouldn't be a West Covina. So when we unite and learn firsthand what our city is doing in our community, the stronger we become as a community. So thank you all for coming today. If you could also join me in giving a round of applause for all our city staff who are working tonight to make sure our residents like you get firsthand knowledge of some of the successful projects that are coming to our community and learn about other projects that you'll learn more about later today, and including firsthand knowledge from our Public Works Department, from our Engineering Division, Building Division, Community Services Department, Public Safety Department, some of the current initiatives being here in our community, including hearing firsthand from our police chief and fire chief and many more. And so let's give them a round of applause for And I also want to say, I know Councilmember Campos had to go to another dinner in, what city was that? San Gabriel, yes. So, with the YWCA, so he just stopped by briefly and he had to go. I'm also honored to have Councilwoman Rosario Diaz here. Let's give her a round of applause for us. And so, let's see, and we also have Congressman Gil Sanel's representative, let's see, Christina. Where is she at? There she is. Give her a round of applause. And do we have anyone from Senator Susan Rubio, Senator and Assemblymember Rubio's office? Great. Let's give them a round. And so I'll start off, and again, thank you for coming. Again, I am committed to making sure, and we also have our City Treasurer, Colleen Rosati, as well here today.
Hi.
And so I'll start off by saying that thank you for coming again, and I'm gonna make sure that our community is always aware and informed of major things happening in our community. You know, as many of you got my flyer in the mail, and I'm going to make sure our community continues to be informed of opportunities like this going forward when that time comes, when there's a need to learn more about what's happening in our community. And so, now I'll be having our acting city manager, Matty McIntrich, tell you a little bit about what he does here in our city, and then go hand it back over. Thank you, Matty. I didn't think that's sorry. My name is Brian Gutierrez, and I'm the council member representing the great district of District 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gutierrez. My name is Mylan Rakic, and I'm the acting city manager for the city of West Covina. Just a little bit about myself for those of you who don't know me. I've been in city government for a little over 39 years now, and after spending 39 years in the public safety side of city government and working 5 different cities and 3 different counties, I've said it before at some of our events, this is a great city, and this is the best city I've ever worked for. And I'm pleased and excited and very proud to be your acting city manager for this city. The city's doing a lot of great things. We're moving forward. The staff is being built back up. We're hiring some great people, bringing people in from other areas, other cities, other disciplines to help balance the city and really move us forward. We're also working to become the most transparent we can with whatever we do, from projects to initiatives and our internal and external operations. And we're trying to bridge that gap between the community and the city. So the community members that maybe have felt City Hall's not listening to you, we want to let you know that we are listening, and I am listening. And that if any resident ever wants to contact me, my phone number's on the directory, right? You can email me, and I will email you back. I don't pass it off. Nobody else screens my emails. Everything comes to me. So if you do email me, I will reply to you with any questions or concerns, especially if you're not getting good customer service from one of our departments. I will be sure and take care of that. Understand that our staff is small for this size city, and we get a lot of concerns, requests for service, and we don't always get to things in a timely manner, but to get them resolved. But there's no reason why we can't get back to you and let you know, hey, we've acknowledged your request. we will get to it in a timely manner. We triage a lot of things. Our public works is a great example. You know, we get stuff where we're going to repair a sidewalk, we're going to paint a curb, or do something one day, and all of a sudden we have a sinkhole, or a tree collapses, blocking a street. So people get pulled off, so they don't get to their normal work assignments that day. That happens in all of our departments. We have a number of departments where we just have one person. So if that one person only has so many hours in a week and a day to get stuff done, we're looking to build that up. Part of our initiatives is to do some economic development, some more tax increment to the city, better businesses, better communities. We'll be able to hire some more people and again, continue to provide better service. But my role is I have a group of department heads, which you'll meet tonight, and they all have specific disciplines and responsibilities for the city, and they're all dedicated to this community. And the people I'm hiring, now that I'm up top, sitting in the big chair, right? I'm hiring only the best of the best. And feel free to Google them, look them up, whatever you want to do. They're the best. And some of them I've worked with in the past, maybe 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and people are actually calling, hey, can I come work for the city of West Covina? It's a great city. You should be proud to live here. It's a safe city. It's a clean city. Everybody has a concern about something at one point or another, but you compare yourself to any other city in San Gabriel Valley, throughout LA County, we really do have it pretty good, especially with the size staff we have and the amount of problems we have. They're really minor compared to a lot of other cities' concerns. So I want to welcome you on behalf of the city staff. And again, City Hall is open and transparent and we're accountable. So reach out to me, reach out to individual departments as you need services, and we will make sure we respond to you. And Councilman Gutierrez, I'll let you take it from here.
Great. Thank you, man. Let's give him a round of applause. I also want to acknowledge School Board Member Michael Flowers from the West Covina Unified School District. Did I miss anyone else? Oh yes, where's he at? Where's Brian's vice at?
He's up there. He's up.
Oh, and we also have our former mayor, Brian's vice here as well. So the next person I'll be calling up to just briefly say what she oversees, and very briefly Roxanne Lorma, our assistant city manager.
All right, I'm right over here, sir. I'm already here. So thank you, Councilmember Gutierrez, for allowing me a few moments to speak on the microphone. I just want to welcome everyone to today's town hall meeting. We do have several members of our city team here to give you updates of things that are not only happening in District 1, but also items and areas of interest that impact the city as well. We hope to be a resource for you. Also, for those that haven't had the opportunity to visit City Hall, and this is your first time here, welcome. We look forward to getting to know you. Please know that our doors are always open, whether it is literally or figuratively, so you can always reach us by phone or by email. Please do not hesitate to reach out to your city staff because we're here to serve you. So some of the things that I do is I help support our acting city manager, Meritage, and then I also support the various other departments. Please, again, if you have any questions or would like follow-up, feel free to reach out to any of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Let's give Roxanne a round of applause. And so the next person I'll be calling up, we'll be talking about our law enforcement and our police chief, Tony Cortina. He'll tell you a little bit about what our police department does to keep our communities safe and all the new initiatives that Chief Cortina has initiated throughout our communities in the great city of West Covina. Chief Cortina.
Good evening, everybody. I do know most of you, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tony Cortina, and I'm your chief of police. I've been a police officer for close to 29 years now, and I've been just absolutely proud to serve in the West Covina community. And I can speak on behalf of all the men and women that work for the department. We really, truly do feel valued by all of you community members, so thank you for your support always. So a little bit about our police department that sets us apart. Our police department is really deeply committed to community engagement, and it's all levels throughout the organization. We routinely participate in neighborhood and business events. Our goal is to build meaningful relationships with our community members, build trust. For anyone that's interested in starting a neighborhood watch group, or whether it's going to be in person or online, by all means, please let us know. We want to come and help you guys set up. We want to be a part of you feeling safe in our community. So we will personally take the time to help you guys do that. It's really important to us. We don't solve crimes without the help of our community members. And we are part of the community. We don't police our community. We are part of the community. So I want that really to be understood by our officers as well as by our community. We are a department that truly values procedural justice. We truly want to make sure that everybody feels respected. We want the trust from our community. We also want to ensure that we're neutral in everything we do, and we want to listen. Everyone has concerns, like Councilmember Gutierrez, our acting city manager said. We all want to listen and do everything we can to solve your concerns within our community as well. But above all, what really sets us apart is our unwavering dedication to serving and protecting our community. Our commitment to safety and well-being of our community is just unmatched. Our people are so dedicated. I'm very proud of every single man, woman, that works within our department. Everyone is truly committed to serving our community and making sure everything is safe for us all here. One thing I want to talk about is our service area policing. Our department, our city is divided into 4 service areas, and each of those service areas is overseen by a particular lieutenant. Now, in District 1, if you're located north of the 10 freeway, your service area is Lieutenant Mike Weatherman. If you're south of the 10 freeway, your service area lieutenant is Danny Armis. They can all be contacted. Their info is all on our websites. They have a phone number as well as an email. If you have any particular long-term concerns within your area, your neighborhood, your business area, whatever it may be, please contact our service area lieutenants, and they will be held accountable and make sure they communicate with you and try and resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Obviously, if it's some sort of emergent issue, just call our non-business line or 911 if it's an emergency. But for things that are ongoing problems, or any way we can help for a long-term solution for anything you may have, please utilize our service area lieutenants. They truly are there for you. Some of our PD updates. I've been your chief since January. We've made a lot of changes within the department, and I do want to thank our acting city manager, our council members for all their support and supporting the police department. Earlier this year, the city council approved 10 additional sworn officers, which brings us at a full capacity of up to 111 officers. We currently have 95 sworn officers working, 45 professional staff, and 15 part-time. So one thing we're really working on, this is a national problem, is recruitment and retention in law enforcement. So we've been able to streamline our hiring process. We've improved employee wellness to help with that issue. We're doing a great job. We have a lot of people in backgrounds, and we're hoping to get us up to full capacity as soon as we can. We also implemented an e-bike team this year. I know some of you have seen our officers riding on the e-bikes. It's been a great program for allowing our officers to have more positive contacts with our community members. If you're a criminal, the criminals out there aren't seeing the officers roll up on the bikes, and just their visual presence is a tremendous deterrent for crime. We've seen a significant decrease in crime in the areas that they patrol. So please, you look forward to seeing them out there. You'll see them at along our major corridors, our parks, as well as our business areas as well. And we've also implemented a new Citizens Academy. We're doing 2 Citizens Academies a year, which are 8 weeks long. Our next one starts October 2nd, and they meet once a week from 6 to 8:30 p.m. The Citizens Academy is a way for us to be transparent with our community and for you guys to learn about what we do as a police department. You will get full access to everything in our department, and we have people from every one of our divisions or specialized units come down and present to you guys with what we do. Again, that transparency and legitimacy for you as a community is truly important to us, and that's why we're doing these Citizens Academies. So please, I encourage anyone in this room to please apply and be part of the Citizens Academy. And we're also actively accepting applications for our VIP program, which is our volunteers in policing program. So we have a volunteer program, volunteer community members that come out, they help out by doing things around the department, they do extra patrols in the community for us, amongst some other tasks. So if you have the free time, would like to be a part of our volunteer program, please apply. I encourage you to, and that's available online on our website. And lastly, we redefined our mission statement and core values, which really haven't been done in about 28 years. I felt it was important for our members of the police department to really have a purpose on why they're here serving you. And I formed a committee and had them they actually came up with our mission statement and core values. And I'd like to read them to you. This is one of our first public times in reading them. And you know what, it's been great because everybody truly understands why they're here and why they're here to serve and what the end result is. So the West Covina mission statement is to serve and protect with excellence, using innovation and proactive strategies to prevent crime and enhance public safety. And that is done through our core values. And our first core value is teamwork. And that's working together towards a common goal with clear communication, trust, accountability, and a shared vision. Our second core value is ownership. And that's taking responsibility for actions and outcomes to build accountability. Our third is community. Community is building strong relationships with the community to identify and solve issues related to crime, safety, and quality of life issues. And our last is excellence. And that's striving for the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and service in every action, every day. So I'm glad to share those with you. Those are what our people believe in. They're living by these core values to provide the best safety and service to all you as community members. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Councilmember Gutierrez. Thank you for all for your time.
Thank you. And I know, before I call Chief Brown, I'm going to call the City Attorney's Office, because I know she has to leave. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rosemary, representing the City Attorney's Office, will briefly talk about what the City Attorney's Office does.
Thank you, Councilmember Gutierrez. I'm Rosemary Fu. I'm a Deputy City Attorney with the City Attorney's Office for the City of West Covina. And there are three primary things that the City Attorney's Office does. One, represent the city. So we represent the city in any matters where the city is sued or is a party of the lawsuit or has an interest and is a stakeholder. The City Attorney's Office also does advisory work, which is advising the city council members, the advisory boards and commissions, as well as the city officers and their departments in their day-to-day activities in operating the city. So part of that includes reviewing and approving contracts, drafting resolutions and ordinances, and making sure that insurance documents are reviewed, bond documents to provide surety for transactions. We also act as general counsel to the successor agency to the redevelopment agency. As the redevelopment agency winds down, there are legal obligations that have to be met, and so our office advises as to that wind down process. We also assist with prosecutions of violations with the city municipal code. So I will dovetail that into what the City Attorney's Office does not do. We do not prosecute a lot of the state laws as to penal code, vehicle code, or any of the federal laws. So the City Attorney's Office does not handle that. City Attorney's Office also does not represent individual members of the public. And for that, we direct everyone to go to the Legal Aid Foundation for the County of Los Angeles. And they will be able to provide you assistance in getting an attorney on your personal matter. So since we represent the city, we do not represent any members of the public. Another part that the City Attorney's Office does not do is represent any individual parties in criminal actions. We will assist the District Attorney's Office, and while the crimes that occur within the city are reported to law enforcement, the prosecution happens on the part of the District Attorney. So any crimes that you may observe or be witness to and you report it to the police department, they refer that to the District Attorney's Office for prosecution, not the City Attorney's Office. So that's in a nutshell what we do, as brief as I can be. Thank you.
Thank you. She has to go. The city attorney is not, okay, what's the question?
The city just lost a $4 million lawsuit to a chief who was fired. There was a report issued that the city council will not release to us, the public. Who owns that report? Those were our tax dollars. Does the public own that report, or does the city council own it?
I'm going to refrain from giving any advice or any opinions as to individual matters. I'm just here to give a nutshell overview of what our office does and does not do. Specific inquiries can be directed to the city manager. I'm not going to be providing any legal advice tonight.
That question's not going to go away.
Wait, I have one question. How many city attorneys are on staff in West Covina?
So for West Covina, City of West Covina does not have an in-house city attorney's office, like some of the larger cities such as Los Angeles and San Francisco have their own employees. But City of West Covina contracts the city as a contract basis. So we have a team of attorneys currently. You have 3 primary city attorney teams. The city attorney is Mr. Tom Gordy, and the assistant city attorney is Brittany Roberto, and I am your deputy city attorney. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Rosemary. Great, and so is there any questions about public safety, law enforcement, or any other questions that the city staff can answer briefly?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the police chief that left whether drone surveillance is contemplated in West Virginia. I think that's a poor idea, but I just wanted to bring up the subject. Drone surveillance in West Virginia.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I do not believe they're doing surveillance on people's homes.
Was it contemplated?
Yeah. I think they have obviously a law enforcement program that assists us in catching criminals in our community, but they are not purposely flying it over people's homes. So, but yeah, great. And then we'll move on to our acting fire chief, Mike Brown. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I think Roxanne's going to be pulling up a PowerPoint that I put together, real quick, couple slides. But in the meantime, my name is Mike Brown. I'm the acting fire chief for West Covina Fire Department. I've been a member of the fire department now for 23 years, serving in ranks of firefighter paramedic through captain, assistant chief, and now the acting fire chief. So for this town hall, first of all, thank you for letting the fire department be part of this town hall meeting for District 1. I'm going to give a brief overview of the department. The men and women of our department are some of the best of the best. We're committed to providing the best and highest level of service to this community because that's what they deserve. Okay, next slide. For Station 1 and Station 3 are in Council District 1. Station 1 has a engine and a paramedic ambulance assigned to it. Station 3 has an engine, which is one of our newest fire engines that was put into service last July 12th. The department last year ran over 9,700 calls for service. In this one, outside of the fire service, I mean, most of the people know that we do provide EMS services, fire services, other calls for service. But I want to give you a brief overview of some of the things that you may or may not know about our department that we do. Station 3 has a state OES engine for wildland deployments. The engine is provided to West Covina by the state's Office of Emergency Services. It can be used within the city temporarily if we need it for reserve rig or we have an incident, a wildland incident within the city. Both of those, the engine and the OES engine are pictured there at the top 2 pictures. The West Covina Fire Department is also part of an urban search and rescue team known in the region as Regional Task Force 2, or RTF2 for short. Members of this unit were deployed to both the Eaton and Palisades fire for a search and rescue after the fire had come through. They were out there on a 14-day deployment. That's pictured on the bottom left hand, and that was a FEMA post on Facebook that they posted that members of our department were a part of. One other thing that we do also in the wildland is a team called a REMS team, which is a rapid extraction module support. It's made up of 4 members that go out on vehicles, and their primary responsibility on these wildland fires are rope rescue type scenarios. So if anybody saw the most recent fire up here in LA County, there was a Ventura guy that rolled off the side of the hillside, had to be extricated. That would be where the REMS team would come into play and go over the side and go down and rescue people and bring them back up to safety, transport them. Next slide. The top picture here, the West Covina Fire Prevention Bureau will be hosting our 7th annual Fire Prevention Open House on October 4th at Fire Station 2. We invite everybody to come there and see. Put on a pretty good event there, and again, this is the 7th annual event that Fire Prevention Bureau will be hosting. The city also has our own fire investigators. They conduct any investigation on suspicious fire. We work with the police department's detective bureau. If there is an arson case, whether it be a vehicle, a home, or somebody's property, we do everything that we can to search out and apprehend those suspects. Our investigator also is involved in fireworks enforcement as well, along with PD. The bottom 2 pictures, we work with and participate with our school districts with public event education events, such as Read Across America and fire safety drills. And then the lower right-hand picture is a picture from Edgewood High School's Every 15-Minute program that was done last year. That's a program put on by California Highway Patrol that we participate to. We put a realistic event together to give people an idea of the effects of drinking and driving. These are usually put on right before graduation to kind of highlight that and put that in perspective. So if some of these high school students are out at the graduation parties and stuff, hopefully they think twice before getting behind the wheel. And last slide. So the fire administration, our fire administration is located on the 2nd floor here at City Hall. Councilman Gutierrez, I thank you for inviting the fire department to participate in this event. Thank you very much.
Let's give them. And you know, all the great, sorry, you have a question? Go ahead.
You always refer to it as Fire Station 1, 2, 3, 4. The average person here does not know where any of those fire stations are. So could you from now on just lay us, I'm not even sure where 1 is, but the one that's on Sunset and Cameron, can you say Sunset and Cameron is number?
Absolutely. Sunset and Cameron is number 1.
Okay.
Station 2 is over across from the Senior Center on Cortez. Station 3 is up off of Sunset and Puente. Station 4 is over by the Sportsplex on Azusa and Fairgrove. And then Station 5 is in the south end of the city off of Shadow Oak and Nogales.
Great.
And if you go to our city's website and look up the fire department, all of our addresses are there with a map that shows you exactly where our stations are.
Thank you for the question. And you know, every day our firefighters work really hard to serve our community and respond to emergencies in our community. And I think they've done a remarkable job. And our police officers every day work with the highest standards and the highest integrity. So once again, let's give a round of applause to our police chief on that.
Red flag for the next 2 days. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated. Great. You know, again, it's great when our community unites, and we're hearing firsthand some of the topics in our community, and we're going to learn a lot more tonight. So we'll move on to our, it's my privilege to now welcome down our acting Deputy Public Works Director, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Crispin. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Councilmember Gutierrez. Thank you. My name is Mike Cressup. My title here is Public Works Superintendent. I've been fortunate enough to work for the city of West Covina. I think I'm going on my 24th, 25th year. A little bit of a blur. I've had the pleasure to work with a lot of you, some new faces. Good to see you. I would like to just reiterate what our city manager and all the staff before me have all said. In maintenance, we want to make sure we're accountable. We do run into a lot of different roadblocks and challenges and things every day, but we want to make sure that we are communicating. If you reach out, you have a question, we want to make sure we're answering it. We do our best to get everywhere we can, but as a city manager is nice enough to explain, we never know what's going to happen. Our week never finishes the way we planned it to start. A little bit about the department. Right now, currently, we have about 25 bodies to maintain 16 square miles. We break up, we have our administrative office where we currently don't have a deputy director, but it's myself, public works superintendent, an analyst, and an administrative assistant. And then we have a couple part-time people that answer the phone. We handle our contracts, our scope work, bills, all things of that nature. Answer phones and all that. Then we have not so much departments, but areas that we're responsible for. So we have buildings and facilities. So we handle, all our parks, buildings, bathrooms, city hall, things of that nature. Park maintenance. We have 16 parks here in the city. 16 parks here in West Covina, and that can be cumbersome at times. But we work with the contractor, and we do some in-house work, and we have contractors do our mowing, blowing, edging, things of that nature, trim work. So we kind of share duties on that. Park maintenance. So street maintenance. So we have our traffic signals. Street repairs, potholes, water lift stations, stuff of that nature that we repair. And like I said, we're lucky to get we get a report on a pothole about every 5 minutes, so we're trying to get out there and take care of those as much as we can. Graffiti abatement, we run 6 to 7 days a week on that. Our goal is to get it down in 24 hours, 48 hours max. That's a job that keeps us pretty busy. The guys work pretty hard on that. Then we have our sewer and stormwater systems. So obviously that's running line. Those are things, that's infrastructure that you don't see. Maybe you've seen our big trucks, our vacuum trucks that go and they run line, make sure the sewers are flowing properly, everything's going where it needs to be, cleaning storm drains, cross gutters, things of that nature. Then we also assist the city with fleet services. So we work with PD, fire, and just everyone in the city. We don't purchase necessarily every vehicle, but we help with maintenance, repairs, and sometimes purchasing, so it just depends. We kind of all share that load, but we work together on that. And we work with we have our external customer service, but we also work internally with the city. We have to make sure that fire, PD have everything they need, they're working properly, so they can be out in the community doing what they need to do. So we work with them to make sure they have what they need as well. And then the last thing, the West Covina Sportsplex. That's something that's been running now in the city for about 6 years. We help with field maintenance, renovation, building repairs, and just day-to-day operations there. So, next slide. Here's a few pictures of guys in the work. On the left, we have guys doing concrete work. That's curb and gutter. Could have been lifted from a tree could have been there lifting the curb and gutter so water didn't flow properly, just ponding. So that's some of the repairs they do there. On the right, we had a street really in disrepair. So this was a small patch because people couldn't get in and out of their driveway. We do small patch work. The next group, I think engineering's next, correct, Roxanne? Yeah, so what we do is, they build it, we maintain it. So we take care, we do small road repairs, small patch work, things of that nature. And then once it gets past maintenance, then we work with engineering to try to work to making sure we're improving everything, keeping it nice, neat, looking good. Next slide. Some potholes on the left, graffiti, illegal dumping. That's something we take very seriously. We don't stop all that. We have people driving the main arterials regularly. We have people reporting. Everybody in this room is eyes and ears. We 25 guys in 16 square miles, it's tough to cover it all. So you reporting, you letting us know, that is key to us being successful in keeping the city looking good and stuff off the street and meeting the expectations that we've set. Next slide, please. Couple more things, obviously, schools, crosswalks, lighting. This is intersections, making sure everything's clear, safe, concise, so people know what to do. So we try to stay regularly on that. We have enough work there. In our perfect world, we'd have guys start on one side of town, work all the way to the other, then go right back. It doesn't always work that way, but that's our goal. To the left, we have our electricians working on some lighting, so they're working on ball field lighting, changing out one lights at a park, putting up a goalpost. You know, we were fortunate enough to receive a donation where we're putting lights up at Billboard Park, so that's them doing some work there. On the right, that's work that people don't always see, but that's sewer work. That's our lift station down on Azusa and AMR. So there, all the waste is pumped up the street. So that's us there working on a pump, getting it up and running and making sure the south end of town is working properly and all their waste is being sent downstream where it needs to go. Downstream is not the right word, but sent to where it needs to go. So, last slide, please. This is just a list of some of the stuff we do. I started here in community services, and in my career here, we've done things a lot differently. You know, where we started and where we are now is different. I'm a guy that I like to learn. I like to, you know, if we can find a way to be efficient, if we can find a way to do something new, if there's a technology we're not using, a tool that we can to provide you better service, we're trying to get into that. So we don't want to say there's anything we can't do. We want to make sure that we can do as much as possible, but obviously time limits us. But these are just a few things: concrete work, electrical work. We have 95 signals that we're responsible for here in the city of West Covina, so we do all our own traffic signal maintenance. I showed you street repair, trenching. When I started, we didn't have a skid steer, we didn't have a mini excavator, we didn't have tools like that. So we're trying to get more efficient, proficient in using that equipment and getting out and fixing stuff faster.
Question.
Yes.
Why are the streets better in Baldwin Park and Covina?
I'm going to have to defer that to engineering. They can talk more about the pavement managed plan and things of that nature. As I said, we maintain the street to a certain point. We try to keep it safe, but once it gets to a point that it's past maintenance, that's when engineering comes in. So that's a question better suited for engineering.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to find out the phone number of the department that we need to contact regarding a street to be repaired. This was damaged last year around this time. The truck that is collecting the once a year verification, heavy loads, whatever, it caught on fire in the middle of the street. And these are not wide streets. It's in the community. And they never came, no one came to repair the street. It's been a long time. So not when you're saying that you guys go around, I would like to know what telephone numbers or who do we refer these damage that has been there for years.
Can I give you the number now?
Yes, please.
The number for our office is 626-939-8853. And I will definitely see, I'm gonna give you my business card when we leave here, because obviously I want you to know, anybody that's working with me knows you can contact me, you know, email me, we'll respond.
You repeat the last four numbers, 85?
8858, I'm sorry, 8858.
8858. And you say you have a party.
Yes, I will provide you my information as well, you can always contact me directly.
Should
Yes,
we
sir.
send photos of what's damage? Should we
Yeah.
send you photos of the damage?
Always. Our app online, the GoGov app, is a great way to put information in. When you submit a request, you get an acknowledgement that you submitted it, you know when we see it, and we can put notes there as well. We do try to get everywhere. We have a lot of street repairs, we have a lot of trip hazards, we have a lot of tree issues, things that we gotta get to. But yes, and I also want you to know that you can always reach out to me, and I will always respond. I can't guarantee when we will get there, but I will always make sure that you have someone to contact and you get an answer back. Yes, sir.
Who's in charge of the street sweeping?
The signs that went up.
I think we're gonna get to that later on in engineering. Almost there. But just briefly, just to finish that one, thank you for reminding me about that one. Actually, I brought it up to Athens Trash Services, and I think Athens was very interested to working with the city to fix and repair that, the damage that they caused for that roadway. So I think Easel's here, Easel's right there. So give her your information and your address and contact information. She's gonna work with the city so Athens Trash Services could help fund some of that repairs.
It was very dramatic.
Yes, I remember. Yes, I know exactly where you're talking about. I remember walking down that street and stuff, and yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. When I first came here, I said, what's that street name? I couldn't find it, and then you, yes, perfect, yes. So make sure you see Easel before you leave. And
Thank you.
yes, and then the street signs, I think we're gonna get down that later on, but the city council has given a direction to not do enforcement at this time because the corrections need to be done. The community's voice has been heard. I think myself and I think Councilwoman Diaz will agree that we're listening to our community and we're gonna make sure that we fix this issue before enforcement starts. So we are in the process of the city coming back to the city council and they're gonna present us some options. And I believe they're gonna now negotiate with Nationwide to try to get us a better price so they can do alternate scheduling throughout the whole city.
So, are the signs gonna be changed because we have?
Yes. So the signs will actually have a sticker, a metallic, strong metallic sticker. So it's going to be less expensive and more cost efficient to change some of the dates and the times. And they also have to be work correspondingly with the trash service company to fix that issue. But just to clarify, I wasn't on the console when that was initiated, so, but yes, at that time, so.
Because the thing is that they just built apartment buildings on the corner of Vincent and Workman. There's probably
Yes.
100 units there. That's gotta be at least 200 cars, maybe more.
Yes.
And all these cars, there's thousands of cars in that area. I mean, Sunset is Tuesday, Workman is Tuesday, Shadydale is Tuesday, all the streets in that area are Tuesday, Roland is Tuesday.
Yeah, I have good news. We have public safety who's eventually gonna come down here and they're gonna be taking down all those street names and making sure we're enforcing public safety around those areas that need to be enforced. So those who are not parked legally will be enforced.
I've had to go to the park my car there and walk home.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty 100-degree weather out.
Yeah, so we have some city staff that are we'll take down, before you leave, make sure you give me your address, and then city staff will work to take that down, and then hopefully they potentially we'll take this, engineering's also here, so we'll send that to the traffic committee for consideration. Maybe there's an alternative to fixing this solution. Maybe they have to do a study, but maybe a solution is potentially putting permit-only parking on your street. So we can figure it out. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. But there's a lot of things that go into fixing the solution. So I will make sure I connect you to our traffic department, so to get some of your input. Yes.
Also, just Shadydale, we're from Shadydale here. All those homes don't have driveways.
Yes.
They don't have, access to a driveway to be able to do that. So that's why it's a unique situation on that Shadydale itself. I asked a question regarding the gentleman of Public Works.
Yes.
Who do I get a hold of regarding an existing storm drain that is at the end of the an alley that I'm right at the end of, where all the water just accumulates for the last 34 years.
Yeah.
I've come to the city hall twice and nobody has done anything about it. And it needs to be either redone or it needs to be fixed. So I'm not sure if it's engineering or public works.
Yeah, that would be, we'll have Mine will take down your information. Mine has done a remarkable job working with our different departments to get solutions on the ground, and our public works department does a remarkable job. They have the skills and the knowledge to do a lot of stuff in our community. And one of the things I've been pushing is to give them the ability to do more in our community, to save the taxpayers money from not having to hire a third-party contractor. So I'm sure they'll be able to figure that out and fix that for you. So yes, and Madden will make sure that happens. So make sure you exchange information after. Great. Any more questions?
I was just gonna say, just tagging on to what he said, that's pretty much the case in all of the alleys. All of these homes that we did, the tracks that we were built with, all of these alleys that don't run through to the next street. And there's a house in between an alley, and there's there's just a lot of buildup on both sides. Water, there's pests, it just needs to be addressed. And, you know, I'm sure we can talk about different neighborhoods, but all of these tracks are very similarly built in the 50s, and that's the issue, so.
Yeah, and that's very important. And, you know, one of the reasons why town halls are so important is because I want to hear from you, from our residents directly like you, and have city staff here to answer those questions. And I'm committed to making sure you get that resolved. And most importantly, for those who live throughout our community, including, I'll get right back to you, but, you know, those who live in our community, we'll answer this question first. Go ahead.
Who's releasing all the cats from the Humane Society? Because they're reproducing right behind his house in the alley. He has like 15 cats behind his house.
Wow. Yeah, so you're looking at Mylan right there. He's the man. So Mylan, you know, one of the great things about Mylan is that he used to be our public safety director, our code enforcement director, and so he'll work with animal control to please get this information to him so he can reach out to LA County Animal Control so we can see how we can resolve this issue, because obviously it becomes a health safety issue when you have obviously a wild amount of wild cats in one location. Yes, so that's so it's more of a public health issue. Yes.
They get across the street from me, these cats will play right in front of your cat.
Okay.
And I've got 5 ducks coming in.
Oh, wow. Yes. So mine is going to be busy tonight. So give mine your information. We're going to make sure mine is going to work with animal control and our public safety department, who does code enforcement in our community to make sure everything's in compliance and following the rules are being followed. So yes, absolutely. And yes, your question?
I have a question. I live up the street from Double K Park, and it's a great park, beautiful, and I really want to see how well taken care of our parks are.
Yes.
It's great, I don't have a complaint really.
Yes.
So one question, I've seen a couple of old growth trees get cut down. I'm assuming they got disease or they're dying. And no trees were put in to replace it. That's one of the great things that's about the park is how many big trees there are.
Yes.
And so it's a concern to see the trees not getting replaced.
Yeah,
great job.
Yeah, I think one of the issues we addressed earlier this year, and I think Councilmember Gutierrez will attest to that, is that we had the tree contractor come here and speak, and we told them, reminded them of their obligation under their contract, and their obligation under the contract is to replace those trees. So please give Mike your information, and he'll work with West Coast Arborists, right? To make sure they're following the contract policy and get those trees replanted. So yes, thank you. And again, you know, when we come together, I hear firsthand your concerns, and that's what makes our community stronger and better. And if you don't tell me, or you don't tell the city, or especially if you don't, those who live in District 1 or other districts, but those who live in District 1, who I was elected to represent, I obviously represent the whole city, but I'm elected by the residents of District 1, and those who have concerns and issues, if you don't tell me, I don't know how I can fix the issue if you don't tell me. And so I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number if you guys want to write this down. I work for you, you're my bosses, you're the ones who put me here today, and I'm going to work hard to make sure your voices are heard. So it's 626-740-4904. No, I mean, if you have other issues, email is obviously also good, and if you have other issues, I will I'll make sure I forward that to Mylan and also CC whoever your council representative is, so you can also have a close relationship with the member that represents you in your community, because that's very important. I think one of the reasons why West Covina was broken into 5 council districts was to make sure more residents had one-on-one voices to make sure things got done throughout the city. Any more questions? Yes. Right now, it's like more about public works right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we get to a point to where anything?
Yeah, towards the end, we can talk about other issues that are facing our community, so.
I can't.
Yeah. We'll talk about general, we'll have different department heads talk about the department, and we'll stop and take questions for that department, and then towards the end of the last department, we'll do some questions and answers about other issues affecting our community and city as a whole. Yes.
So, I think it's great that we have the opportunity to express our concerns and raise issues and questions, but I also feel like it's really important for the individuals that are accountable to be aware of what contracts need to be followed up on.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I couldn't hold my job and manage people and, just wait for someone to bring things to my attention. I probably wouldn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is there someplace there like a vendor management manager? Is there like a contracts manager that oversees that, or is it just based on department and
Yes.
the lead of that department has to make sure that all of the vendors that they contracted with then are fulfilling their contracts and their obligations?
Yeah, so
That's how it works?
Yeah, and we also have a project manager that was recently hired, Robert Ortega, who was tasked to making sure a lot of those contracts are being completed correctly. I think Mike's office has also ensured that, and also mine. And mine, if you could speak a little bit about what you're doing to make sure contracts are being followed.
So ultimately, I'm responsible for every contract in the
And
city.
you are the city manager?
Correct.
Okay.
So I am ultimately responsible. Each department head manages their individual contracts. But again, I'm ultimately responsible. So whatever contract, whatever concern it is, if you send it to me, I'll make sure it gets to the right person, and then I'll make sure the item is taken care of. I'm not my email address real quick. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. So I like to put things in writing so there's no misunderstanding of who to talk to or what the direction is. There's going to be MRAKICH@westcovina.org.
ITH or ICH?
ICH. mrackage@westcovina.org, and I will make sure that anything that's sent to me is responded to and taken care of.
Great. And my name will be around to give you handwriting for you too if you need it later on. Yes.
Excuse me, Brian, you just mentioned that the city just hired this gentleman by the name of Robert Ortega. What is his position?
My name is Robert Ortega's specific duties and position.
Robert's our CIP manager. So some of our city projects involving engineering, planning, and building, he's the project manager, and he works in our engineering division.
Oh, project manager, all right.
Correct.
Yeah, and he's spoken before at some of the council meetings recently. Yeah, no problem.
The reason that I'm asking is because I'm one of the commissioners and I'd like to know who's doing stats.
Yes.
So in case I
Yeah.
ever ask them for something,
Yeah.
I know what to direct them.
Yeah. Well, you can always make sure you direct them to my name, because my name will make sure he disperses it. Yeah. So we don't have to give you the headache in having to separate it. So yes. And again, if you don't inform mine, or if you don't inform members of the city council like myself or Councilmember Diaz and other members, then we don't know how to keep people accountable. And the way we keep people accountable is hearing from our residents, because our residents' voices count. And when you speak and when you talk, it is my job and our jobs to make sure our city manager gets that voice back to him so he knows how to run different departments in our community and throughout our city to make sure West Covina continues to be the bright city it is today. And so we'll move on to any more questions for Public Works?
To contradict what you just said, the oral comments went down from 5 minutes to 3 minutes.
That's the city council meeting. This is a town hall.
Yeah, so if you want to speak 20 minutes, we'll have you do that after all the department heads speak. But, okay, so we'll make it that, so Public Works, and then...
Gutierrez, I have a question.
Yes.
Just to follow up on that CIP capital improvement project, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
This manager, is he responsible for supervising like those contracts, projects like bus cleaning, maintenance work? Because I know you and other council members have been doing it on your own. What is this project manager responsibility to tell that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think myself and others have voiced that, and at the end of the day, we're elected to represent the communities that we're elected to represent, but at the same time, it's important that city staff is able to finish the job. And Monica, can you explain what you're doing to make sure that, again,
Sure, and also JD's question. So the CIP manager, he primarily handles bigger, larger infrastructure type projects involving streets, sidewalks, parks, issues involving signage in the city, big issues. Issues like the contract for the bus shelter cleaning and the smaller contracts, there's individual department heads that handle those. Some are out of Public Works, some are the assistants of the city manager that handles some of them. Some of them are through community services. But if there's a specific contract that needs attention, I'll direct you to the correct person.
Just a quick follow-up on that. I just recently tried to obtain the schedule for a particular park, but just parks in general. And I was routed to different departments, and that's kind of sounds like what you just explained. That the supervision of some of these outside projects are handled by numerous departments, and it's kind of hard to put your finger on which one really is responsible.
Well, I have good news for you. We have community services here, but we're going to get to them later on, so we can address the parks too.
I'll say just one more thing. So as one of the big projects that Roxanne's working on is the update of our website. We'll be launching a brand new website in the next couple months. So what it's going to do is going to entail that residents quickly find who's responsible for what, instead of searching multiple pages, multiple drop downs. So those type of questions will be answered. You'll be able to see exactly who to click on and who to send to. And instead of worrying about the minutia of who handles the 6 smaller projects and 3 bigger ones, we'll just have a couple key contact persons so you don't get routed around. And at the end of the day, you have my email, most people have my phone number. Just get a hold of me and I'll direct you to the correct person. The city does contract for a lot of different services. Some of them involve a contract of a couple people that we deal with a couple times a year, and some of the projects are large, like tree trimmers or people working streets. Larger contracts involve multiple people. But with the new website, you'll be able to be routed to the correct person very easily.
Thank you.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to email mine, and I'm sure mine will get back to you. So. And now we're going to invite our engineering department to briefly talk about what engineering has been doing for our community.
Thank you, Councilmember. Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Demirci. I'm one of the engineers as part of the engineering department on behalf of the city. Wanted to share a little bit about the engineering department, and then I'm going to transition into the building and safety department. So the engineering department in the city of West Covina works closely with Public Works and Council, and we execute different CIP projects, whether that be in land development, CIP, and traffic. So if there's any traffic concerns that you have on your streets, you would essentially contact the engineering department and say, you know what, I feel that they're speeding on the street. And as an engineering department, we would look at that. And all of the wonderful projects that you see citywide, like new construction happening, park projects, street rehab projects, different types of maintenance projects on buildings, those are all within the CIP, which is capital improvement projects that you see happening in the city. In the next slide, we're really happy to share that as of this year, right now, we have 4 major projects that have been completed. This includes residential street rehabilitation projects that you might have seen on some of the local streets here in the city of West Covina, as well as a HVAC and roof replacement project for the Cortez Park Senior Center. And we recently completed the citywide ADA transition plan to ensure that we are ADA compliant as a city. And we also completed citywide annual concrete sidewalk, curb, and gutter repairs throughout the city. And these are annual repairs that are ongoing because we really want to make this a wonderful city for our residents. In this next slide, you'll see a list of ongoing active projects that are currently in progress. There are future projects that haven't been started yet, but these are the active project lists. And if you see that they're categorized in bold and unbold, the bold areas indicate that those are in District 1, whereas some of them may be overlapped, so they might be citywide. So portions of those projects might cover portions of District 1. So you can see that there's a really great number of projects that are currently happening, from park improvements to active transportation programs, helping make our intersections safer for our residents, our crosswalks safer in your schools. We have citywide safety improvements. We also have signal improvements, different park improvements, street sweeping signage installations, and other projects throughout the city that we're looking forward to completing as we go. And with that, in the next slide, I'm going to transition is, if you ever have any questions about engineering, or you have a specific concern that you want the city to look at, we're available 24/7. So we have a really easy email address, traffic@transtech.org. If you email that, that goes to the traffic engineering department. We hold monthly traffic commission meetings where it is open to the public, and we take in requests that come from the public, we address them, and we work with maintenance and public works to install those improvements. In addition, if you want to contact the engineering division, maybe you have a project that's happening in the public right-of-way for some reason, you can contact the engineering department at permits@westcovina.org. And in addition to that, in the next slide, a little bit about building and safety I wanted to touch upon as well. So your city's building and safety department consists of a building official, a plan checker, building inspection, permit technician. So maybe you might not know what a building and safety department is in cities. So what that is essentially is anyone who lives in the city, or maybe they're gonna open up a business, maybe you wanna do a remodel in your kitchen, etc. Anything that's gonna require you to do some type of construction, you would go to City Hall, either online or at the counter, and you would submit plans for what project that is. And the city's building and safety department team reviews those plans, gives you a permit to go ahead and make that construction. We're really proud that in the next slide, you'll see customer service has been the forefront of this division and department. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week online, you can upload your plans directly online and submit your plans. And literally it's about a 2-week turnaround time. You get a response. And oftentimes, if there are simple improvements, you get your permit and you can start your construction. So we're really excited that the city has that available to the residents. A lot of cities in the area don't have that type of access. And in addition to that, if you want contact information for the building department in the next slide, these are the contact informations. It's either building@westcovina.org, the phone number, take a picture on the screen, that's the phone number. Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30, the phone number is available, but emails and actually online submittal is literally 24 hours a day. And yeah, that concludes kind of an overview of what the
Great.
and I'm going to direct it to.
Yes. What question do you have, Bill?
I'm gonna have to re-roof my house and I'll pay a big fat fee to the city. Your slides mentioned building inspection and construction inspection. So what service or how is the city gonna help me when they inspect my roofers?
Yeah. So the primary goal of building safety is to make sure that any construction that's happening for your house is done safely and through the code. So we follow the California Building Code, and so essentially you would pull a permit for a roof replacement, which is a pretty simple permit. The city of West Covina has fees for each type of permit you pull, and then once you're ready to go, you would get your permit. The day that it's being installed, 24 hours before, the day before, you would call, say, you know what, we're scheduled for this day. Typically your contractor would do that for you. And the next day, a city inspector would go out there and inspect the work to ensure that it's code compliant, and you get basically a final on your permit that it's safe, it's good to go, it's permitted, and that's kind of how it works.
And if it's no good, the city could order the contractor to do it again, do it over?
It's unlikely that it would be ungood because you had pulled a permit. So by the time you're in construction, it's already been, I guess, plan checked through a process to ensure that what your contractor is going to be installing is per code. So it would be catched before that.
Great. Yes. Right. You're next, Mark. You raised it first, then I'm Mario. Yeah.
So you're the one that's in charge of the street sweeping side?
I am not the one in charge.
That's my name.
Who's the engineer that planned it? That's what I want to know.
It's like, where are residents supposed to take their cars to park then, when both sides of the street say, no parking?
Yeah, I'll briefly answer that, and there's a lot of people to speak still, but, so the last city council meeting, the city council directed staff to make some corrections. So we will be switching to alternate sides of the street. Those will be some additional information sent out to residents. This current city council has given direction to me to facilitate and make changes and come back to the council with a plan. But we are going to be making that adjustment, so we'll be alternating sides of the street.
But money's spent, right?
Great. Mario, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, the city, through Transtech Hosting, had some community workshops for the street sweeping. And it was the consensus of the majority of the residents attending those meetings that alternate street sweeping should be the way to go.
Yeah.
This is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're here now, 2 years later, dealing with this.
That's what I'm talking about.
What happened there?
I wasn't on there, but what I can say is this is going to be a topic of a council discussion coming soon. Once mine is able to figure out negotiations with Nationwide, that will be brought back to this council, and I plan on making some really, really valid arguments and points to make sure your voices are heard that day. So. Right.
And I also, in the past, this is not the first time that street sweeping has been proposed, but the last two times that happened, actually, the city had the courtesy to let us know before they did that. And then, because of our situation again on Shady Bay Street, not having these issues, we opted out not to have that done, and we were able to get that null and void. They didn't do it. No, that happened twice.
Are you talking about what, street sweeping?
We're talking about street sweeping.
You want?
We were able to go ahead and get a petition on the street that we did not want the street sweeping. Everybody had their street very clean. And then we opted out of it twice. This time around, they just all of a sudden shut the signs up.
The problem, and the problem with that is, it's like your cat. The cats are behind your house. What happens if they go move over your street? So you want the street sweepers that your taxes pay for to clean your street. But we're gonna make sure we do alternate schedules so we can accommodate people to park on the streets. Go ahead. Yes.
A few years back, the city contracted engineering services. Are you still contracted or are you an employee?
We're contracted services, just like the city attorney, correct?
Okay. Thank you.
Brian, let me answer one question for all the street sweeping questions, see if I can capture them all at one time. So ultimately, the decision about the posting of signs, the street sweeping routes, frequency, times, that's all decided by the 5 members of the city council. So what was voted on a few years ago, the city council has since determined what they were approving and what they thought may work. Based on community feedback, it's not going to work. So this city council, the current city council, has come back and directed me to make changes. So to help answer everybody's question of what the city's going to be doing, time frame, and all the questions you may have, what I'll do is I'll write up a narrative about this. I'll post it on our city website so everybody can log on and follow along. But for the people that are coming that I didn't know about it and stuff, I understand that a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, whenever this started, that there wasn't enough community outreach. So this time, with whatever changes are finally implemented through the council, and I have staff and contractors take care of everything, we'll make sure that everybody is properly notified. And that may be included in maybe your trash bill, your water bill, or however we reach you. But there'll be much more outreach to let everybody know exactly what we're doing.
Great, thank you, man. And go ahead. We'll get right back to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question as far as building. Do we have an actual building official that is an employee or is it contracted?
It's contracted, the building
Who's
is.
the service contracted through?
Transtech.
So is Dennis our building official?
Dennis and Isla, you have 2 building officials, and Isla Jefferson.
How many building inspectors do we have? And the reason I ask is when we have this big earthquake, Transtech is going to go to the highest bidder. They're not going to come to West Covina. They may go to Azusa, they may go to another city. How is West Covina prepare for an earthquake?
I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question. So my full-time job, I work in emergency management. So what I can say is that I know Chief Cortina and Chief Brown are both on, do a lot of studies with our local LA County partners and other partners throughout the state of California, which is called the California Office of Emergency Management, which is overseen by Governor Newsom, and also FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. So both our public safety officials, which is Chief Cortina and Chief Brown, work very diligently to develop an emergency operation plan for the city of West Covina. And I think, I'm sure Chief, we'll make sure that's accessible too. I think mine will make sure it's more easier accessible on our city's website. So people, our residents, like you can click on it.
And that's great, but
Yeah.
we don't have inspectors for the city of West Covina.
Yes.
We're kind of
Well, are you talking about fire
I'm talking
marshals?
building.
Yes, yeah. So what does some of the building enforcement you do?
I can assure you that the city of West Covina has several building inspectors. In the case of emergency, as the chief building official, it is our duty by law to ensure that your city is safe, inspected correctly, and has the right amount of
Will
personnel.
they have the manpower?
Yes.
Real quick. And are they OES certified so that we
Yes.
can get reimbursed from FEMA?
Yes.
They are OES certified, yes.
Well, yes, and plus, when it comes to, applying for FEMA funds and state funds to Cal OES, a lot of that operation goes to our police and fire departments, and they work with public safety, public works, our engineering department. So the most recent disasters are the windstorms. I believe FEMA has reimbursed the city of West Covina for a lot of repair work that was damaged throughout our community. So you can rest assured, West Covina is prepared for the next disaster, and as a person who understands firsthand the importance of emergency management, I'm going to continue to make sure that our police officers, our firefighters, our building officials, our city manager have the tools they need to learn firsthand more information and get more FEMA resources and grants that are out there. One of the things that FEMA and Cal OES has is funding. And that's very important, and we are in the process of applying for more funding all the time. So
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Yes.
Just a real fast question. Where are you located?
Where do I live personally? Yes, we're here physically in City Hall.
Second floor or?
Second floor, no, third floor. Third floor. It's across from planning, so right across from planning there's the engineering, but even if you go through the building and safety department, they definitely call one of us out.
Yes, and if you ever have issues again, make sure you tell Mylan and make sure it gets done.
Yeah, Brian, one last comment.
Yes,
I
go
got
ahead.
another really quick question.
Go ahead. Yes, go
Real
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. Whose idea was it to put apartments on the corner of Workman and Vincent? The apartment buildings that went over by the bowling alley, every old school, there used to be schools, elementary schools.
Covina, not West Covina.
They're all becoming apartment buildings or condos.
That's not a quick.
All these extra cars, thousands of them, right? Thousands of cars.
Yes.
How many toilets in each one of those? 200 toilets or so? The infrastructure has not been upgraded. Where's all the sewage going? What about electrical? They keep knocking on my door. Do you want solar? Do you want solar? I don't want solar. Why? Because we're going to have brownouts when all those air conditioning units start taking place.
Call me and I'll bring you a no solicitation sticker, okay?
Somebody knocked on my door the other day and said, you've been pre-approved for an ADU in your backyard. We'll give you $40,000 if you build an ADU.
So you just brought up a great question, and let's just pause there. So you're talking about advertising you get in your mail. So obviously,
No, I'm not done, sir.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Well, I just want to talk about the fraud portion of that. So be aware of what you're signing up for.
West Covina into the city of Los Angeles? Are we going to become an inner city instead of a suburb?
Yeah, that's a great question.
To get out of the inner city.
Yes, yes. And that's a good
What's
point.
happening here? I don't know, I
Yes.
don't understand it.
Yes.
I like my grass, I like my yard. I don't
Yes.
want, us to be piled on top of each
Yes.
other.
And what part of the community do you live in?
I live right across the street from here. West Covina on
Perfect.
Shady.
Okay, great. So obviously you have the ability to put people in the city council who is your voice, and so today we're gonna.
I voted for you, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor. Thank you, thank you. And just like I said then, and what I'm saying now is that your voice matters to me. And I'm gonna make sure that your voice is heard, and then we take your input and your ideas, and we see how we could work with our community partners. But when it comes to actually the selling of schools, that's actually outside of the city's jurisdiction, that actually, depending on what school is being sold, it could be potentially West Covina Unified School District, or Covina Valley Unified School District, Roland Unified, it depends on the location, but the location you specifically mentioned used to be a elementary school in West Covina Unified School District. So unfortunately, the city, which one?
Vincent Schools, Covina, Pioneers, Covina,
Yes.
Del Norte is West Covina Unified.
Vincent and
Vincent
Workman?
and Workman is Vincent Schools, Covina Unified.
Covina Valley Unified? Okay, so that was Covina Valley.
And the city had no say-so whatsoever
Yes.
over that.
Yeah, so it's all the school district's ability to say they want to sell it. You know, school districts also have the ability to say, I want to make a park, but it's up to them to be the ones to. But you can rest assured that your voice will be heard, and your input will be taken into consideration when projects come forward now, and you will have a voice in having someone like myself who's going to hear you out and be a voice for you and others in this community who want a voice. And I stay committed on making sure that happens.
Are you speaking of the building that is coming up on Del Norte?
No, I'm speaking in general terms because the other resident here has concerns in general about different developments in our community. So what I'm just mentioning is that I am his voice at the end of the day, and I'll continue to be so for all our residents.
Nothing to say about it.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to those who are here to learn more about the Del Norte project. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That is coming soon. It's coming soon.
Brian?
Yes. We haven't gotten there yet. Yes.
The Public Works Department said that the engineering department would answer the questions about, her question about why the streets that Covina and Baldwin Park are better than West Covina.
Yeah, so that's all about CUP funds and reserve and restricted funds. And so one of the things that I and other members of the council, including Councilwoman Diaz, has voiced our concerns about the need to fix our streets, making sure that a lot of the restricted funds that come from propositions or that were generated through taxpayers like yourself and others who approve these propositions, those go into restricted funds, and it's my commitment and my colleagues' commitments to make sure that money is allocated back into major street improvements. So they have their own budgets. No, they have their own budget. So each city is responsible for their own city.
Right, real quick, Brian.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Just, I know streets are a big topic with residents. It's also a big topic within city government and city hall. And I can tell you, each member of the council individually and collectively have asked me to make our streets a priority. So what we're going to be doing in September is we're going to have a CIP project meeting with 5 members of the city council, spearheaded by our new finance director who I brought in, to take a look at the monies we have in restricted funds and special projects and figure out how to use this money better to address the needs and the concerns of this community with what we currently have. But again, individually, each member of the council and collectively, this is an absolute priority and it is being addressed.
I'll answer that question. The reason it involves Park is because since 2000, they have redone Pacific, which turned into Main Street. They've redone it 4 times. They've gotten 4 grants.
Yes.
We haven't got any grants. West Covina is 17 square miles. We have 330 miles of street. Then you don't have nothing even clear, come close to that with both cities together. So if we miss something, you know, gotta give everybody here a break. But we don't get the grants that they have, and maybe we should.
So we're gonna come back to more of these questions towards the end of the meeting, because I know everyone's here about a lot of more information about even Del Norte's project. So let's continue on, and then we'll get back to more questions. I promise you, I won't leave until I answer it.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not regards to the plan. And this is because I listen to the city meetings on my TV. I don't come to the meetings, but I listen. And what happened is that there were a big discussion on grants. Now, grants, when you get a grant, that grant is geared to just one purpose. You cannot deviate that money away from that money if it's meant for one specific point. Now, when I was listening to it, I hate to say the name, but I'm gonna say it. Tony Wu said no, that they could deviate that money and spend it on something else. So are you doing what he asked you to do, or are you doing what the people that gave you the grant are doing?
I'll answer that, Brian. So as the CEO and the head of the city and responsible for all contracts and grant management, if we get a grant for something specific, that is what it's going to be used for. We are not deviating. We are also looking to bring on somebody to handle state and federal grants so we can capture more grant opportunities. That is also a big initiative of the council and mine. There are other cities, much smaller, 4 or 6 square mile cities that are getting multi-million-dollar grants for 17 square miles, and we're getting peanuts compared to these smaller cities. If you're a smaller city and you get $10 million, you can have a great impact. In this city, the size, we need the much larger grants, and we need to capture all of them. But to answer your question, the city will be transparent. If you ever have a question, a grant, any funding source, myself, the finance director, will give you an honest answer. No money's being deviated away from a project. We will stick to the guns, our guns, and move forward.
What about the road tax money? So in the past, we get road tax money and we sell it to different cities for 50 cents on the dollar and it's thrown into the general fund. Now, I don't know if they still do that. Can you address that, sir?
Yeah, so I actually argued about the need to get a better rate, and sometimes different funds could be exchanged, for example, with transportation company funds. So you change in restricted funds for general fund money that can be redistributed for other needs throughout the community. You know, one of the things that I would potentially like to see in going forward is opportunities to potentially use funding from that restricted fund and to be able to help our firefighters in stations that need improvement. Some of our firefighters in facilities that are falling apart, and we need to address that, and so I stay committed. So let's move on.
One question real quick.
We're going to move on, and then we're going to get back to I'll get you back to that, I promise you. So we're going to move on to community services. So it's my privilege to introduce to you Deputy Director of Community Services, Susie Perez. Let's give her a round of applause.
Everyone wants to get to the Norte Park, so I am going to keep it brief for all of you. I do see a lot of familiar faces in here, so good evening again. As our Councilmember Gutierrez said, my name is Susie Perez. I'm the Deputy Director of Community Services, and I have the privilege of overseeing the department. Our department consists of 9 full-time staff and about 40 part-time staff. We have 6 beautiful parks, as my Cressa has mentioned, and along with the sports plus. And we have 4 active community centers. We have Shadow Oak, Cameron, Cortez Park Community and Senior Center, and Palm View Park Community Center. And I'll go into a little bit into detail as to what programs and services are offered at every facility. But I just want to kind of give you a brief description that, you know, we do plan a lot of events, but community services isn't just events. It's a lot of social programming, and we program for infants to older adults and everyone in between. And so we take a lot of pride in our customer service and ensuring that we are providing quality services and programs to all of our residents and those in our neighboring cities as well.
Just thinking health in general, because you're the health director yourself.
Some of our accomplishments for this year from January to present, just recently at the Senior Center, we partnered with AT&T and they donated 100 free laptops to our seniors from our Senior Center, so they were all able to walk away with a free laptop, and they also have access to support, and so that was a great event that we had just a few weeks ago at the Senior Center. We also just partnered with the police department on our National Night Out and Touch a Truck event, so we merged both events, and that event was hosted here at City Hall, and it was a great event. And a lot of the events that we do, we do have to collaborate with all of the city departments. It takes everybody to come together and logistically create and put on an event of, large magnitude. PD, fire, public safety, public works, getting our POs from finance. So it is logistically, internally, a lot of work in order to pull off an event. Some of our citywide events that we did or have hosted included the Spring Festival, compost events. So unique to community services is we have environmental services out of community services. So we work closely with Athens for our senior discount program, the compost event, Earth Day, Arbor Day, America's Recycle. All of those events are housed out of community services. We also had our Memorial Day event, Health and Wellness Senior Expo. Let's see here, summer concerts, 4th of July fireworks spectacular, our ESPN LA, Friday Night Lights, and Water Days. And then some of our city partnered events this year have been MLK, Student Government Day, Easter Extravaganza, and we are currently in the process of working with RJM Design Group for our Parks Master Plan. So I know that a lot of you have participated in that, and we had 3 workshops, and they're still coming up with information and statistics, and resident input is always welcome. So if you go onto our city website and you search Parks Master Plan, you'll be able to find the link, and so you can provide all of your input.
Like this gentleman, I seen a guy walking
So some of our community center highlights, Shadow Oak Community Center is on the south side of the city. So we have 5 full-time coordinators, and each coordinator has one respective site. So the coordinators and the staff not only help organize the citywide events, but they also have their own respective sites where they're servicing the community. They have their own special events, they have their programs and services, rentals. So at Shadow Oak, they have a Tiny Talk program, Mommy and Me, special events, they program for older adults, pickleball, and rentals. At Palmview Community Center is very unique. This is has been converted into an adaptive recreation facility. So it does service adults with special needs. And so we, on a daily basis, see an average of 100 to 200 participants, and they come in from different areas. So they have activities, walking club, dancing classes, special events for adults with special needs. And then they also did just recently start a...
Hey, up there, be quiet!
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. They also did just start a homework assistance program for anyone that is looking for homework help after school. So that's open to anyone. At the Cortez Park Community and Senior Center, they can see anywhere from 400 to 500 seniors on a daily basis. We have, unique to West Covina, if you're not aware, we actually have a full-time staff person that is a city chef The program is funded through LA County, and so when every senior comes in, they have to fill out an intake form, and that's how we get units accounted for and credit for the program. But we serve anywhere from 150 to 200 people on a daily basis, and it's just on a suggested donation. So there's a lot of services and programs that operate out of the Cortez Park Community Center. They also have rentals there and a lot of fun and party activities. And again, it's a social outlet, and it also offers for legal assistance, tax assistance during tax season. So there's a lot of services out of that facility. At the Cameron Community Center, that is the hub of community services. So if you ever have any questions, concerns, please visit any of our sites, but Cameron Community Center is open almost 7 days a week, and so there's usually someone there on staff there to answer your questions if you wanted to give them a call. But there we have volleyball, basketball, cheer, all kinds of different activities for the youth and adults. And then we have the West Covina Sportsplex, and this year the West Covina Sportsplex has already hosted 18 tournaments, and we are currently offering adult leagues on Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays, and it is available to rent also during the week. On the next slide, please, you'll see some of the pictures here of some of our events. You'll see summer concerts on the left-hand side. On the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a picture of Jaime Harin from the Dodgers, and he actually attended our ESPN LA event this year, and he handed the mayor the game ball, senior softball in the middle, a Memorial Day event on the upper right-hand corner, and then a picture from our 4th of July fireworks spectacular. Next slide, please. Some of the activities and programs that we have coming up here at the end of the year, we're going to be extremely busy. Some of the events coming up is our State of the City. We invite you all to attend. That will be on Thursday, September 4th at the West Covina Sportsplex, and you can register online for that. We'll have the Supermoon, Festival of Frights, compost events, Veterans Day, Let It Snow, and the Children's Christmas Parade with Kiwanis. And then we're going to be heading into the completion of the Parks Master Plan at the end of the year here. Some just fun facts and miscellaneous information. So within the department, we are the liaisons to the Youth Sports Council and the Community and Senior Services Commission. And we actually have a lot of commissioners here for Community and Senior Services. If you can just raise your hands really quick. And I know Michael Flowers is here, and we have Matthew as well. And we also do manage all the field allocations and field rentals within the department. So if you're ever looking to rent a field, you can go ahead and refer them to community services. And then we also oversee the rentals of the park pavilions and facilities. So if you're ever looking to host a birthday party in a park or a birthday party, a wedding in one of our facilities, please contact us, and then we can give you pricing and availability on that as well. And as I mentioned, we do have 9 full-time staff within community services and 40 part-time staff. So I wanted to be brief and just kind of give you an overview of community services. And JD, you have a question for me.
I do, thank you. What is the percentage or the amount of time available for free play, for lack of better terms, as opposed to pay to play time when it comes to these gymnasiums, park? Let me give you an example. You rent the pavilions at the park. If I live across the street, want to have a party at one of those pavilions and not pay, am I allowed to do that?
Yes, as long as it has not been rented for that day.
And who would I go to find out when it's been rented and out, which was my earlier question? I'm having problems with that.
Sure, you can always contact me. The Cameron Community Center should be able to pull up, or any facility should be able to pull up our registration software, which has a list of all of our facilities and rentals, rental availability. But you can always reach out to me.
And what, do you just ballpark figure on the percentage of free play, accessibility to the public for whatever purpose of going to the gym that will be ball, as opposed to, you know, a league?
So we do have open play available. I don't have the exact hours for you, but I can absolutely get that information for you.
Yeah, and if you have concerns about when kids could go play or so forth, obviously reach out to Susie or Mylan, and they'll get you that information. But, you know, one of the things, even in District 1, you know, for example.
Kill mine.
Reach out to mine. But, you know, even places like in District 1, like Orchard Park, you know, many times, before, you know, certain facilities used to be locked up at Orangewood Park. Now they're open to the public. When the sports teams are not playing, the park is open to the public because it was very important to me that the community did have access to the facilities that their taxpayers paid for. So, yes.
Yeah, just real quick, it's kind of like a follow-up on JD's question. I live pretty close to Cameron Park. Friends and family, we would go to Cameron Park and play some kickball, some softball. But now the leagues have kind of picked up, you know, using it a lot. A recommendation would be to have perhaps a schedule, if the leagues could put a schedule there, because that lets us know, hey, there's going to be a game here Sunday. We can't come and play it, you know, and get kicked out type of deal.
Great recommendation. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think Maya and Susie actually have been working on that in working with some of the sports leagues, teams to get them to actually put down their schedules. I know sometimes I think they have been a little, I guess, pushback on that, but I think Maya and Susie are doing a great job to get the public more information on when they can use those. So yeah, thank you. Okay, let's, okay, real fast, go ahead.
Yes, at the senior center?
Yeah, so for seniors, do they have to show like ID or anything? And then also does that include immigration legal services with the current days that are happening?
You know, it's on a case-by-case basis. If you'd like, I can get your contact information. I can give you a call back with more details.
Okay, yeah, for consultation.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to highlight the city on your website, the city of West Covina, the 2025 State of the City, $75 to know the state of the city and employee recognition. Inflation, people aren't able to pay rent, people are losing their jobs. $75 is kind of ridiculous. So I don't know why you would charge someone $75 to know the state of the city, but you really have to like read the room and realize that the times that we live in, people aren't going to pay them.
Yeah, I don't think Susie's saying the president. I think it's more of a way to obviously give a message, but obviously I think the council stays committed on fiscal responsibility and I'll continue to ensure that. But when it comes to, if you're asking if you want to attend or something, please send an email, and if there's a financial issue, please send an email, and mine will work with you to see how we can get you.
Well, I'm just speaking on behalf of everyone, because if a family of 5 wants to go, that's hundreds of dollars.
We'll have Mylene answer that. Go ahead.
I'm not speaking like, I'm just speaking because I know a lot of people have commented and it's.
Absolutely, we recognize that, and again, it's not to generate revenue, it's helped to offset some of the cost. But what I will tell you is that all the presentations that are done at the State of the City will also be on our website. So following the dinner, the event, following days, we'll be posting all the presentations, all the updates about the State of the City will be posted on our website so people can watch them.
But what I'm suggesting is, I appreciate the transparency, but you really have to read the room and read the city and realize that there's ways to do it, that it's not $75 a pop.
Understood.
And that's a great idea, because you know some cities do have community forums or auditoriums they use, so the public also has an opportunity to go for free, and so that's a very good point. And I'm gonna make sure next year when that comes, I'll make sure I bring that to the council's attention to find solutions to that, because obviously residents having the opportunity for everyone to go, especially those who can't afford it, maybe we need to develop some sort of assistance to that funding too, to help those who can't afford it. So yes, thank you.
I know that at first, one time they were 35, then they went to 50. That was the old, and now it's 65.
Yeah.
Everything's more expensive today.
Let's get back to these questions, and then because I know everyone's here about, again, the Down Norte project. So let's move on, and then I'll get back to you after. Let's give a round of applause to Susie. And so now we have our Public Safety Department. And then after public safety, guess who's next? Del Norte, so hold on. Let public safety go real fast, and then Del Norte's next. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Ariza. I'm the Public Safety Manager here with the City of West Covina. I've been with West Covina for 3 years. Fairly new to the city. However, I have 10 years experience in public safety, code enforcement.
Any questions you have, feel free to call.
I'll give you a brief rundown of our
Thank you for coming.
department.
Thank you.
So public safety service areas, our service areas mirror the West Covina Police Department. We have one full-time officer assigned to each service area. We handle everything from property maintenance, traffic control, outreach to unhoused individuals. We also have part-timers that assist in these service areas as well, usually 2. And we have part-time officers that also conduct parking enforcement duties. So for those that don't know or are unfamiliar, what is code enforcement? Code enforcement refers to the investigation and enforcement of municipal codes, ordinances, and regulations related to property maintenance, building and safety, land use, signage, noise, and other public nuisances. And the purpose is to protect public safety, maintain property values, promote quality of life, and support community standards. Public safety officers' role in complex community issues. This photo is actually from one of our a case that we dealt with. Public safety officers are responsible for addressing challenging situations that can pose serious risk to the community. Hoarding conditions is one. They create fire hazards, obstruct emergency access, health and safety violations that endanger residents, neighboring properties. Properties that threaten public welfare, such as unsafe structures, environmental hazards. These cases often go beyond routine enforcement and require collaboration from multiple agencies. Something that we also deal with, in 2022, public safety was notified of a dangerous building in Service Area 1, actually. The structure was occupied by squatters and posed a significant public safety issue in the community. It did catch fire as well. A case was generated, a code enforcement case was generated, and multiple notices, citations were issued, and additional penalties to the property owner. Ultimately, we succeeded in having this structure demolished. Oh, next slide, sorry. One before. Following multiple responses by public safety, West Covina Police Department, personnel, and with the involvement of our city prosecutor's office, the structure was ultimately demolished. City officials continue to work closely with the property owner to ensure that there are future development plans for the site, and we're looking forward to that in the future. Some other common violations on private property that we deal with are overgrown front lawns, trash and debris in public view, construction without proper building permits, dry or dead vegetation, dry brush, anything that can cause a fire hazard, inoperable, wrecked, or abandoned vehicles in public view, and trash containers that are left out on the street, on the lawn, for more than a few days. We usually like to work with residents. Sometimes they can't come home all the time, bring in their trash cans, so we usually try to work with them as much as possible. Next slide. From April to August, our code enforcement action counts, these include re-inspections, complaints that we intake, case notes, notices, observations. We're proactive and reactive. And we're, as you can see, we do quite a bit of inspections in a few months. So we're quite busy conducting these inspections. Next slide. So these are some of the violation counts. As you can see, overgrown vegetation, bulky items, trash and debris have been the categories that have risen recently. But as you can also see, we deal with graffiti, we deal with additional public nuisances, parkway maintenance, and other additional violations that we address. So we also deal with parking enforcement. Our duties include patrolling assigned areas, issuing citations if needed. We try our best to work with the public and of course public interaction. So we also support in special events, emergencies, and abandoned vehicles such as the photo that you see. We mark these vehicles for 72 hours. We follow up if they're not, if they have not moved. We coordinate with the West Covina Police Department to impound that vehicle. Homeless outreach. We work with our West Covina Police Department's HOPE team to coordinate cleanup efforts. We work closely with property owners, business owners, property management companies, public works, to help maintain, obviously, a clean and safe environment. We will make contact with these individuals. We work with Lakata, who also provides services to these individuals. But ultimately, we will make sure that the property owners, when on private property there's an encampment, we make sure that the property owners ultimately clean up the area and don't leave any trash or debris. And I know this was a hot topic, and just to we work with Athens as well. And again, I know this was a hot topic, but again, just to reiterate what Councilman Gutierrez has said earlier, on August 19th, the City Council approved changes to the street sweeping schedule. The new program will switch to an alternate day system. The city will work with Nationwide Services to update the street sweeping schedule. Our signs will be updated with new stickers, as Councilman Gutierrez mentioned. And a resolution will go to the City Council for approval before any changes take effect. More details will be shared as well. And so you all know, we're not issuing citations. We are holding off completely until we review and get a new process in place. Lastly, I encourage residents to utilize the Report an Issue app. It's how we track our complaints, issues. It's very effective. I think Mike alluded to it earlier. And it's extremely helpful, and you'll get updates if you leave your email address. And again, you can always contact our department if you have any questions at all. But that'll conclude my presentation.
Can you make that QR code a little bigger?
So this is actually on our website.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to, it's actually where I got it from.
Great. And if anyone needs help downloading the app after, I'll help you download it, okay?
You have a full-time officer, is that in West Covina PD, or are you considered code enforcers that are full-time officers?
We're public safety officers, so we do code enforcement and parking enforcement. We have 4 full-time public safety officers that are its own standalone department.
So the full-time officer that's on your presentation is actual code enforcement?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Ultimately.
Okay, and we'll get back to more questions later on after. But let's give them a round of applause for it.
For example, on my street sweeping is on Tuesday, Wednesday is trash. I'm sorry, Wednesday is the
Street
trash.
sweeping, Tuesday's
The following day is street sweeping.
Thursday.
What happens when the residents don't bring in their trash can and the street sweeper has to go around? Do they get a citation?
They will get a notice. They will be noticed first and advised. Typically, we provide more than one notice. And should the resident refuse to comply, ultimately it can lead to a citation. But that's something that is the last resort. But yes.
Great. Let's we're gonna answer more questions after, so you can learn more about the Del Norte project. I know everyone's here for that. I promise you I'll get you the former public safety director to answer that question for you after, okay? Or you can ask him too on site, yeah. No problem. So I know many of you wanted to learn more about the Del Norte housing project, and that's eventually going to go to the planning commission and to the city council. And so tonight, by law, I'm not allowed to give you my personal opinion about that project because of the Brown Act, which requires me to voice that opinion publicly at a public notice meeting, and that is to come in the months to come. But I wanted to make sure that each and every one of you knew what was going into your community, so you could have a voice and an input in how that project is developed. So thank you all for coming again. And so I also heard from you, and you guys said, we want someone that has the ability to hear us and take action. Well, I brought you tonight the project manager for that project. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a round of applause for being here tonight, taking the time to listen to your voice, which is Larissa Filito, who is the forward planning manager and the project manager for this project. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Louisa Filetto. I'm with Meritage Homes. I just want to say a big thank you so far to the city and Councilmember Gutierrez. You know, we've had a lot of great interactions with staff as we've been working through this project, hearing the council members' opinions and feedback as we've been working through some different things. And I'm thankful. There's a handful of you, obviously, that I've been able to speak with at our community meeting that we had earlier this month. And I will be here to answer, obviously, questions from all of you who might not have been able to make it out. Next slide, please. So as you all know, just a general context map, the yellow is about a half-mile radius from the site. So context down to City Hall, down to the Plaza West Covina, freeway access, and you know, we're right adjacent to Del Norte Park. So next slide, please. So high level on the site plan, we're proposing 282 homes. 282 homes. Access would be from Del Norte Street and Nora Avenue. There's going to be guest parking throughout the site, and the project also proposes extending Del Norte Street to Sunset Avenue. Can you go to the next slide, please? So, firstly, we have single-family homes, so we're proposing 34 single-family homes. They frame the streets out to Del Norte and Nora to help create a complete neighborhood. We intentionally wanted these homes to take access from the streets so that it was creating a sense of community, that there wasn't just a block wall on the streets, that we were turning our back to the existing neighborhood. We really wanted to become a part of the neighborhood. So these 34 homes, there's two plan types, a 3-bedroom and a 4-bedroom. They all have full driveways that can fit 2 cars, in addition to having a 2-car garage, and then they all have private rear yards. Yes.
We're going to get to questions in hand. Let's let her finish. Let's just let her, okay, go ahead.
The 4-bedroom.
So you won't forget.
How many parkings is there for the 4-bedroom?
Sure, so each single family home has a 2-car garage, and then 2 cars can fit in the driveway.
Only 3?
Correct, those are a 2-car driveway, just like a standard single family home would have. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering example of a view taken from the Del Norte extension. So you can see kind of that completed street scene. It would be improving the parkway and sidewalk with new infrastructure. And the homes beyond the townhomes are really stepped back so that the massing does not feel so obtrusive on the street. It really feels just like a single family neighborhood. Next slide. So within the site, behind the single family, is our 3-story townhomes, and we have 134 of these. They provide a transition between the single family homes and the 4-story stacked flats. All of the townhomes have a 2-car garage. It's either in a tandem or side-by-side configuration. There are 3 plan types. We have a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, and a 4-bedroom plan. And they all, as I said, have a 2-car garage, and then they all have private open space, either in the form of a patio or side yard on the ground floor or deck space on the 2nd floor. And we have enhanced elevations both within the site and out towards the park to help provide variety and an enhanced street experience. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering of the townhomes. We have two elevation styles proposed for the community, a Spanish elevation as well as the Seaside Contemporary elevation. And the three-story townhomes, you can see there's a lot of movement in them. The third floor is stepped back to help soften the height. And there's a lot of change in materials and color to help provide visual interest in the elevations. Next slide, please. So the stacked flats are, there's 110 homes proposed. They are the highest density, so they're set furthest away from the existing neighborhood, tucked into the corner of the site that's adjacent to the park. So it's really buffered by the lower density uses to the existing neighborhood. All the homes have a 2-car tandem garage and private open space in the form of a deck. And I just, in the lower right, you can see, while we do call these out as 4 stories, it is a limited 4th floor. So it's only about 60% of the area in the 4th floor massing. And it really does help reduce the height impact in the elevation. So next slide, please. This is a rendering of the 4-story stacked flats. You can see both elevation styles, the Seaside Contemporary and the Spanish. And you can see that there's decks on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor that help provide movement and visual recesses to reduce that height impact, as I was mentioning. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is all about parking, because I know that that's going to be a huge issue. So on site, boxed in pink, we have 77 guest spaces identified. These are all head-in spaces. Additionally, you can see the 2-car driveways that the single-family homes have. And the yellow dots are where potential on-street parking on Nora and Del Norte could occur. Now, I know that there's a lot of concerns from existing neighbors about spillover into the streets. And there are currently in place permit parking throughout most of the neighborhood, and this was just reconfirmed by council earlier this summer. So there is preferential parking permit restrictions in place for the south side of Del Norte from Nora all the way to Sunset. So even though we are proposing to improve Del Norte Street all the way out to Sunset, and that includes adding 11 additional parallel spaces on that portion, those will be under the parking permit restrictions that only existing residents are able to have. There's also restrictions on the west side of Nora Avenue from Roland to Workman, on Foxdale Avenue between Del Norte and Workman on both sides, on Yaleton Avenue between Del Norte and Workman on both sides, and on Hollow Avenue between Del Norte and Workman on both sides. So these, while it can seem like there's a lot of homes coming in, they're not going to be able to spill out and park in the neighborhood because they're not going to be eligible for this restricted parking permit program. Of the spaces that are not currently under any kind of parking permit moratorium, there's only the 11 spaces identified with the yellow dots. Additionally, I know that there's concern of would they just be parking in Del Norte Park? Well, there should be no overnight parking allowed in parks. So in working with the city, with code enforcement, different things like that, we can ensure. Additionally, our CCNRs would require that all homeowners can park 2 cars in their garage at all times. The garage is not meant to be overflow storage. We design our floor plans with storage included so that residents are parking 2 cars in their garage. And we'll have standards in place, whether it's garage inspections or different things, to make sure that that's happening. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we are extending Del Norte Street out to Sunset Avenue. And as it's currently shown in our drawings, we are a right-in, right-out condition. After speaking with a lot of you at our community meeting, though, we heard the concern or the request of, could there be a left turn pocket from Sunset on the northbound side to allow left turns onto this Del Norte extension to help avoid queuing at Workman and impacts to the neighbors who live off of Workman. So we're currently going through that process of preparing the warrants evaluation for this. It would have about a minimum 100-foot queuing pocket. Operationally, I can tell you that it does look feasible. We'll still need to go through the process with the city to get it reviewed, but preliminary feedback from TransTech was that they were in support of it if the warrants were there, so we'll be revising our studies to include this, because we think it really will help lessen the impact of traffic going both to Workman and Roland from this proposed community. As I mentioned, on the south side, there will be improvements to include the 11 parallel spaces. The north side will have just parkway, sidewalk, no parking allowed. It's a modified street section in this portion, so it's a 26-foot travel lane only, and then we're cutting out the parking spaces on the south side. So it's a little bit modified, and that's just because of some existing constraints right there, but we thought it was really important to make sure that that connection happened. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering showing the entry from Del Norte Street. As you can see, the entries will be improved with enhanced paving, signage, pilasters, specimen trees, new ADA ramps. Front yard landscaping for the single-family homes will be installed as part of the construction of the project to help create a complete street scene from day one. And new parkways with curb, gutter, sidewalk, and then landscape planting pockets, whether it's ground cover, shrubs, trees will be included. Next slide, please. This is a rendering example of the entry from Nora Street. You can see similar treatment here. Next slide, please. So for amenities in the community, we have a main central recreation area. It's proposed to include a pool with a restroom building, shade structures with seating, cabanas and lounge chairs, an event lawn area, barbecue counter with another shade structure, tables and chairs. And then this is a rendering of that. The space is central to the community. It is connected by walkways both from the street, and all residents would be able to get there on an ADA path of travel. Next slide, please. These are just some other features that we have. We have different Paseo conditions throughout the project. So Paseo A, you can see we have a couple locations that will have these enhanced seating areas. Paseo B, you can see that these have semi-private patio spaces defined. And then Paseo C, you can see that this has a treatment with benches and accent trees. So variety throughout the community, but connectivity as the focus. Next slide. So the walls and fencing application were really important for us when we were looking at this. Specifically along the park interface. So the single-family homes and some of the townhomes all have private yard areas. They'll have side gates to access those yard areas. We have low fencing throughout along the east side of the project site where it interfaces with the tennis courts. That would be a solid block wall against the existing medical clinic and home. That block wall would be remaining. We wouldn't want to disturb that portion of it. But against the park, the north, we really wanted to focus on this. And so we created, the majority of it is a combination wall condition. So it has a low block wall with tube steel above it to really help create that transparency and connectivity between the park use and the residential site. And if we go to the next slide. So this is a rendering view from the park looking towards the project. And you can see that combination fence that really helps with that connectivity feel. We do have 2 portal elements proposed on the site that would connect the park and the project area. So residents would be able to walk directly to the park. There's a portal element that connects from the north side and then one on the east side as well. And they're kind of these special moments with pilasters and kind of a little trellis over the top, as you can see. And finally, as we're talking about Del Norte Park, one of the things that Meritage is committed to as part of this process is improvements that we can potentially contribute to Del Norte Park. And I was able to speak with some of you about this at the community meeting, and I would love to hear more feedback tonight. We're looking for ideas of what this could entail. In speaking with Councilmember Gutierrez, some of the things we've thrown around are either dog park improvements or upgrading the splash pad area. We know that those aren't the only things that maybe would be the best use of Meritage funding improvements, so we want to hear other ideas. But we're exploring that and excited to bring some features that can help improve the neighborhood in a meaningful way. And next slide. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you guys so much. I have, I know we sent out flyers and save the dates to about a 500-foot radius around the site. If you did not get that, I do have more FAQ flyers with me. It also has my contact information and I have business cards as well. But I am happy to answer some questions right now.
I think Mario, let Mario go, and then earlier you told me.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, let Mario go. All right, a couple of statements, I mean, that haven't been brought up, and I think it's important for the public to know is, and the name of this program, it's the regional, pretty much the state initiative that is asking that that the city of West Covina add 5,000 new housing units by the year 2028. So that is what's bringing a lot of this housing to the area, and the city, I believe, is mandated not to build these homes, but to zone accordingly to allow for that construction. Now, my part in this, 2018, I started going to the dog park. There was supposed to be some improvements. They didn't happen. 2019, 2020 came around. I became more engaged with the city. Started inquiring what's going on with the dog park. Del Norte Park or school area got sold by the school district, and we were told that improvements to the dog park were on hold pending what the developer is going to do. Fast forward 3 years, still getting the same thing. It wasn't until about 2 months ago at the dog park that a resident showed me a screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot of this particular flyer that was sent out to people within the 500-foot district. Now, I would recommend, if a development is going to be affecting a city park, that maybe that radius could be expanded, because there are people outside of that 500-foot area that utilize that space that are interested in what's going on. So I understand that housing needs to happen. I just feel the engagement hasn't really been there. But again, I'm not sure where the development is at. For example, has a negative negative mitigation declaration, has that occurred for this area already?
No, so I can speak a little bit to that. So the school district has not sold yet, so the school district still technically owns the property. As Councilmember Gutierrez kind of shared earlier with some of the other projects that were mentioned, the school district goes through a certain process, the 7-Eleven committee, when they're going to dispose of assets that are closed, that they no longer need, different things, and they try to identify the highest and best use for it. They have to go through certain levels before it can potentially be put out to bid in an RFP process for developers to propose on. And so Meritage was selected through that process. We are under contract to purchase it. We have not purchased it. In terms of the status of the project, we are going through our review still, so we're still working through our entitlement efforts right now with the city. We have prepared a draft ISM&D. It's in administrative review right now with staff, but we're hoping to have that released out to the public in the next month or two, and that'll go out for, I believe, a 30-day review per CEQA guidelines. Comments come back on that, they get incorporated into the final one, and then that final one is what would also be presented to the commissions down the line.
Okay, just two last statements I wanted to make is, one, I don't know if you go back to the map that kind of showed the Nora Avenue or the full, the traffic committee about 3 months in March proposed to add a three-way stop. Right now, Nora is a free-flowing street.
Correct, at Nora and
Roland, right. So adding that stop, I think is gonna create,
go back to the aerial, the second slide.
a potential bottleneck because we were studying this and you're adding, I forgot what it was, maybe 500-600 more vehicles, 1,200 vehicles coming in and out,
Yeah.
depending people working from home and so forth. So that's just me kind of letting you know that traffic committee did that.
And we talked with both Councilmember Gutierrez as well as staff and from Transtech about that stop intersection improvements happening. We're open to seeing if it can be conditioned as part of Meritage's approvals.
Okay, so you guys are
to help
working with it.
expedite that actually getting installed. With the conversation around adding the left turn pocket at Sunset onto Del Norte directly, it will change some of the traffic patterns that were initially evaluated in our traffic study. So there will be, as that component gets shared with the city, there will be some updates on those documents, but we're open to working with the city to make sure that.
Sorry,
Let's turn tomorrow, and then I'll get back to you, I promise you. JP, go ahead.
Yes, and to piggyback on Mario's question regarding the dog park, Del Norte, but not just exclusively those two areas, but other parks, in reference to the PDF accounts, that were brought up during council, the discrepancy that existed was interesting because I believe it was $3 million in District 3 and you had less than that. So my question is, since it's dedicated to each district representative use, what triggers its use and to what projects? Because for example, Walmorado's parking lot, last time I was there, was shambles. Cameron has gotten a lot of attention, I appreciate that because I live close to it.
Sure.
I know you had a concern about Golf Park at Del Norte, which is in shambles according to your position. What triggers the use of this money?
Well, that would be a question, I don't think it was on my list, but I know she was here, but I think she had to go, right?
That's why I tried to ask earlier.
Yes, I think Karen, did Karen leave?
She went to the
Oh, she went to the restroom. Okay, she'll be right back. So
I'll wait.
We're gonna come back.
I'll
to
wait.
that.
Fair.
Okay, go ahead. I know you had a question, go ahead. We'll come back
Thank
to
you.
it.
I have lived on Nora and Roland since '81. That street has, over the time, got so congested with cars parking. We don't have parking permits requirements
On Roland.
on
Nora.
Nora.
On Nora.
On Nora, so.
Across from the
I live
park.
on Nora and Roland. That's at the edge of the park.
Yeah,
The school is down here a little.
correct.
These cars are gonna congest our street
Yeah.
that don't require parking permits. All of the streets along the park do not require parking permits. So all of these homes that you're creating need to park somewhere. Where do our guests park?
Yeah.
Where do the people that we have to our homes park when your new homes, cars congest our street? I'm within 4 houses from that structure's beginning. Like 4 houses on Nora to where it starts. I'm already congested with people parking in front of my home. Okay, so where am I going to park my guests? That's my first issue. The second issue is you've got to have an entrance from your structure into the park, from the back side. Because people who are going to go to that park should not have to walk by our houses with their dogs.
Correct.
And all the feces all over the place.
So you can kind of see it at the top, there's a little green circle. And you'll see one on the right near the tennis courts, a little green circle right on the edge fence line. Those are the two portal gates
Okay, so
from the
there's going to
community.
be nice gates going from the new home into the park.
Correct.
Before I get sidetracked, there's a couple more things. Are the police still here?
Well, what was the question? Go ahead.
They need to patrol that park.
Yes.
Yes.
There's too many drug selling going on. I live right there, I have all on camera. We need to get that park closed down at 10 p.m.
You're here.
There should not be drinking and loud music and all stuff.
Yes.
But
Don't be afraid to text me or also call me.
I've talked to so many police officers who drive by and say, please patrol this park after 10.
Don't worry, I've been patrolling it and I've been sitting them, so we're gonna make sure we continue to do that, yeah.
Fighting in the park who ran into my property and fought around my park.
Yeah.
That needs to stop.
And Chief Cortina, he's hearing and he'll make sure, and and you know that I told you.
I know, you're really good, you're wonderful, I voted for you, you always respond.
Thank you.
Thank you for that last part.
Thank you. No, but I'm gonna make sure, no problem, but I'm gonna make sure that anytime you call or text me, any resident, I'll make sure that if you're unable to contact the department, I'll contact them for you and we'll make sure that we continue to do patrol at night, so. And I drive by there sometimes too, so.
And if you do something, just no problem.
Did I drop something like that? By the park.
What's the case for that?
Close to the park. And that whole area, you're not supposed to park at 10, and please sit in there, because I know my sister and her boyfriend, and they park there and they're out.
Okay, so if you can't get a hold of the department, you call me and I'll
I
call.
want them to do the patrol.
Yes, okay, call me if you see something and I'll make sure I report it for you.
And not only that, I live right from Roland, the curve.
Yes.
People drive nuts.
Yeah, we're gonna, well, that's why we're putting, I think, you know, one of the things that is important that we, you know, despite this project, but in general terms, the safety around the park and people being able to cross the street. And so that's one of the issues that I brought to city staff's attention and it has gone to the traffic committee to put some enhancements there now than later because safety for kids, safety for seniors is important to me and our council.
And the park is still up. The parties and all that stuff. There was a, down near her house, there was a drum that couple cars at the parking lot, ended up around the curve. That poor family coming home.
And he's failed.
They hit her and ended up on my lawn.
Yeah, I think you told me about that. I gave you my card, so don't be afraid to call me. Okay, go ahead.
No, he's just not. No, I'm not the city manager.
Dogs should be on leashes.
Yes,
Why are, I'm taking a right now walk, why is there fees?
well, one of the things that, one of the things that I think that the council and I have been focused on, and I think my advocacy about, one of the things that recently changed was expanding public safety and having them, one of the things that Minot did since taking over is expanding the hours for public safety code enforcement to address some of those issues. But we'll make sure you get Minot's information too, okay? And don't be afraid to call me. Okay. I'll get back to you, Mr. Hamilton. Okay, go ahead.
And all those homes on Sunset. There's actually an apartment complex that's taking up all the parking all along Sunset and also on that working on the east side, I'm sorry, the west side of where Sunset's at. All the homes there don't have driveways, so that's where they park. They park on the street. They're gonna build a complex that is gonna be, they're saying they're mitigating the parking, but it's gonna be an overflow. And I don't think you've actually looked at all the homes on the east side of Sunset and don't have any driveways. They have guests, they're renting, so they have multiple cars all over the area. I'm sure you're not looking at that. The impact's gonna be a lot bigger than this.
And that's why I brought you the project manager, so she could notate that and go back to her team and work with city staff to address some of those concerns. And make sure you get in contact with Mike, and then he can hear some of your concerns about the other streets you're talking about. Yeah. What was your question?
We have permits on the south side of Del Norte. They need to have permits for the houses.
Yeah, that was one of my ideas, but I think some residents don't want that, so they have to work together to figure out.
The only problem with your permits, they're gonna go from 8 to 5.
Yeah, so we have to find a solution and work and find what we can all work together on to address these concerns. But one of the options we have for these other streets you mentioned is to look at a traffic study for potentially making mandatory permitting for those streets. So, but that's an option. So
We put a 24-hour permit for the residents that live in those streets.
some streets do have that.
None of the streets have 24-hour. They're all 5. They're all from 8 to 5.
There are, is that correct? 8 to 5 on all. I thought those permit streets require permit at all times.
Because I requested them up there because I work for one of the school districts.
Maybe in some areas, but there are some streets I believe are 24 hours, right, man? They're permit only for
On our city streets, there are some that currently exist, and one of the things the city is going to be doing is revisiting the way we issue permits and how we issue them. So that's a project in the works right now, so like with this project,
If you call code enforcement, they don't show up. I got guys contracting across the street from me. They got 6, 7 cars parked there, called code enforcement, no one showed up. After 5 o'clock, someone shows up, and they're already gone.
Yeah, so exchange contact with Mine. I'll give you his email. Anytime you have an issue, Mine will make sure. Mine is also not only the acting city manager, but also the director of public safety for which also includes public enforcement.
City manager, this revisiting of street permits, is that
Let's take turns.
citywide?
Okay, let's take turns. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
What is the median price range of your properties that you're selling? Because it's my understanding that all these houses are being built for affordable housing. Affordable housing.
So
the ones on the corner of Workman and Vincent are $760,000 up to $900,000. That's not affordable housing.
Sure,
So who's getting the snow jobs here? Us? But, and then where is the money, the tax money going from all these apartment buildings and condos? Where is it gonna go if we don't even have the money to improve our own?
Yeah, and you have a lot of great questions there. We'll have Louisa briefly answer that, and then sure exchange contact information with you guys. And then, one of the things that Meritage is also responsible for is community outreach. So I'm sure she'll contact you later on tomorrow or the next days to get exchange more information.
To speak to the price point, so the project right now as it's proposed is all market rate. There's no affordable proposed. Now, Meritage is a builder. We do target an attainable price point. Our optimum buyer is a first-time home buyer, a first-time move-up. We really try to target that missing middle home buyer, which is why we have the density. Because when you have more homes, you're able to spread out the development costs over more units to help keep the price point down. So, speaking about price points, so for the stacked flats, the highest density, that's going to start in the low 6s. The townhomes are going to start in the high 6s, and then the single-family homes will be in the 8s, the mid-8s.
That brings our houses down to $200,000 each.
It actually doesn't. There are studies that have proven that new homes,
Realtors go around and they figure out what properties in the area.
new homes that come in actually raise values of the existing homes.
Any concern at all for the fact that the median income in West Covina is nowhere near anything that can be afforded?
Exactly.
Also, the second question, can you define further, what's a stacked flat? I'm a lender, I've never heard that term.
Sure, I did not include any visuals there, but so essentially what it is The 2 units, so it's 2 tandem garages, and each unit has individual entries. But in that module of the 2 garage width, you have 1 unit that comes up, and their entire living is on the 2nd floor. So kitchen, living, dining, bedrooms, and then the 2nd unit goes up to the 3rd floor, and they live on the 3rd and 4th floor. So they're stacked on top of each other.
Great, next question.
Can you income for a high? It's like
So we'll have an HOA. Our HOA dues, we do try to keep them very reasonable because again, we're targeting that first-time home buyer. So our average community HOA dues is around $200 to $300. Additionally, with the attached townhomes and stacked flats, it does include like the home insurance in that way, wrapped into the HOAs a little bit, so that can alleviate if someone.
Insurance for the condo?
I'm not sure what that is offhand. Condo, so the HOA will get wrapped up into that, the insurance for the building. So it's not going to be on the individual homeowner to go out and get their own individual insurance. In terms of the price point though, and what you're speaking to, the median household income, you know, we're working with the city on different things. We're open to contributions for, I know the city has a first-time home buyer fund, whether it's contributions to that to help with down payment assistance or different things. We're having those discussions with the city.
I've seen developers do that in the past, and they still write off 5 or 6 units for that piece of it. But I'm talking about the median income in Covina, in West Covina, the people who are already here are not likely to be able to afford anything that you're about to decide for.
And the housing element requires low-income housing. None of these prices would meet that
Why are we not?
definition.
And then, how can they reach you, Larissa?
I have business cards and I also have my contact information on the FAQ flyer,
Okay.
so I'll have
So
those
just,
out in the
just,
lobby.
great. So she's gonna, here, we're not finishing, but she's gonna answer the questions as much as she can, and as much as she can. But then at 8:30, the meeting concludes, but she's gonna give you her business card, because one of the things that Meritage has to do is do community outreach and be able to communicate with you one-on-one to hear your voice and take that voice back to them. So,
You know,
we'll get,
at that price point, what you're gonna have, and I've already seen it, 2 families moving into 1 unit, or 3 families moving into 1 unit.
6 cars per unit. And that's not
believe
even
me,
including the teenagers.
I've seen it in my neighborhood, 2 to 3 families. Right across the street from my house, there's 3 families living in 1 house. On the other side, they got 5 cars in one house, because there's several different people living in there in order to afford a house.
Consider the impact it'll have on police, these additional bodies.
let's go one at a time. Okay, so let her answer the question, go ahead.
So Meritage, you know, when our sales counselors are interacting with a potential buyer, we're very transparent about the community, the parking restrictions, the different things like that. Meritage is a policy we try to limit, if we try to avoid if we can, but sometimes it's not feasible, institutional buyers who are just coming to purchase a unit and rent it out. We don't have.
With all due respect, that is not even addressing any part of the question.
I'm trying to get there.
So let her finish, and then if you want more and more details, it's her job to get back to you. So she's gonna give you her business card.
Who's going to, like, do you pay, does your company pay for the infrastructure, like a new power plant near your place so that for all the extra electricity that goes there?
So the project does pay development impact fees to the city.
And what about schools? You're taking up a school property and you're gonna need schools.
Okay, so let's do one question at a time. So let her finish, and then we have to go through someone else who has a question
So the
too.
project does pay development impact fees that cover the influx of homes coming in to cover police, fire, utilities, different things. And I can actually tell you right now that with the property currently being vacant and the school district rents it out for different things, but it's a vacant property at the end of the day. It's a negative impact on the city's budget because police and fire code enforcement has to come and handle it. With the project, and schools are also tax exempt, so there's no property tax coming in on this. With the potential project, you're actually going to see an additional $190,000 every year into the city's budget from.
That's all? $190,000?
Okay, so we'll let her finish it, and then we'll get back. Okay, so let's have Betty answer her question. Go ahead, Betty.
I have several, but
Okay, let's do one at a
I'm
time.
real short.
Okay, go ahead.
You're going to build 282 units.
Correct.
Okay. How many swimming pools are you going to have there?
It's just the main central.
Just one, for 282 buildings. Now, another thing, how many units are you going to have joined?
How many are attached?
Yes, attached.
So we have 34 single-family homes, we have 134 townhomes, and we have 110 stacked flats. So it would be 240. Oh, my math. 244 of the. No, my math is wrong. What did I do?
Another question that I have real fast. Since
I'm sorry.
the parking
138. 248 are attached.
Parking situation, is there any excess parking within the building construction that you have there?
On the site?
Aside from the street?
On the site, there are 77 guest spaces. Can you go back to the parking slide? I think it should be.
And that's a great question, and I'll answer that briefly too. By law, there's always accessible parking, so yes, there will be accessible parking. Yes.
So
Yes, yes.
the building code actually has a ratio, so it's about 5%. There's 5% of the open spaces would be ADA accessible.
PDA, no, you never got answered.
Brian, nobody's mentioned the
I'm a
fact
project
that
Hold on, Bill.
there's no environmental
Hold on, Bill.
impact.
One person speak at a time, please. Can we just have one person speak at a time? Thank you.
You're the manager,
I'm the project manager.
You're in trouble.
but we need a developer to really come and tell us what's
I
really
will-
going on.
She's a developer and project manager. Yeah, so she's gonna exchange her business card with Betty, so she could get one-on-one with you and get you some more information.
Can I ask you a quick question? Has this come to planning already?
No.
Then why don't we save this for planning and when it comes before council?
This is outreach so we can hear your guys' concerns and if there's things we can do to mitigate anything on the plan, we want to be able to.
Okay, Lynn had a question, go ahead, get it.
All right, hold on, it's my turn. First of all, the community for this project, number one, I guarantee you that. Number two, you have 77 parking spaces for guest parking. That's almost 4 to 1. You need to have 1 to 1. If you're gonna have 300 units or 400 units, whatever it is, you need to have a parking space for everybody. So, if everybody looks here, so the only reason why you place those homes onto the street, because you needed parking. That's why you didn't put up a brick wall. All the other homes put up a brick wall. Now, what's gonna happen on Sunset? Okay, so you're gonna have 92 homes?
282.
282. Where the hell is everybody gonna park? Okay, these people all have legitimate complaints. Okay, parking. When I was on the planning commission, I made sure there was parking. There's not enough parking. So everybody's going to park at Del Norte Park at night, and you say, well, there's no overnight parking. No, there's no overnight parking. So there's gonna be no parking at the damn park. Now,
You're gonna park in our house.
hold on. I'm not done.
I'm gonna rip my driveway.
And by the way, you're taking 2 Little League fields, you're taking the farm field,
Yes.
and you're taking the pony field away from West Covina Natural. Now you just put them out of business.
Yep.
And in between there, you got soccer fields.
Yes.
So that's green space, that's gone. So what are you gonna do to replace that?
Yep.
Thank you, I'm out of here.
Let her answer the question first. So just again, I want to emphasize this. The reason why you don't hear me asking her questions or stating my opinion, because by law, I'm not allowed to at this time. So just want to clarify that. So go ahead and answer.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to share that it is the school's property. The school does rent it to the Little Leagues right now. And as I mentioned earlier, the school district decided to go through the disposition process and put it out to RFP. So the school district no longer wants to own it. The cost that they're looking for, you know, they want money for themselves for improvements in the district and different things. And so they weren't necessarily just going to give it to the city to expand the park. The project is obligated to pay Quimby fees, which go, you know, fund other park improvements in the city. So while it feels like we're eliminating park space, it's not technically park space in the city because it's school property. The school district just chooses to lease it out for that use.
Okay, so we're about, we probably have like about 4 more minutes before we're done. Let her ask, she hasn't answered, go ahead.
I'm wondering if we could share, given the cost of these homes, right, what the tax amount would be going towards schools? Because Meritage Homes, the largest political donation, went to specifically Club Grove Action, which works towards defunding public schools. So given
I wouldn't be able to, I don't have an answer to that right now, but if you get my business card and email me, I'll get back to you.
So, just on average, right, given the average cost, you said, or the starting cost of the home for taxes, if you're taking the tax money for the city, right, what did I go towards schools, for Meritage, which I could show you the actual, like, public information for.
Sure, Meritage is a national publicly traded home builder, yes.
Yes, actively.
I don't know what, as a corporation, we've done contributions to, I can't speak to that. But if you email me, I can get back to you about the tax fee contributions that would be going back towards schools.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you what Meritage has done right here.
I understand that. I don't have any impact on what our corporate donation decisions are, but
No, I know.
thank you for sharing.
You don't do that. I'm saying, I just don't think it's antithetical if this organization is coming into the community that actively works against funding public schooling, but then is taking our money, like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I have a quick question.
Bill's been standing up and raising his hand.
Nobody has mentioned, and everybody in this room should know this.
Yes.
Go ahead, Bill. Ask the question.
Nobody's mentioned an environmental impact report.
That's the ISMND.
Okay, let her answer, Bill. Okay.
I haven't asked the question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Bill. Go ask the question.
Well, the California Environmental Quality Act, West Covina built a beehive in Roland School adjacent to Food for Less. West Covina already did this 2 or 3 years ago, and the residents adjacent decided not to take the developer to court because they didn't have an environmental impact report. Now you guys are going to have to decide.
Bill, what's the question for Meritage?
Well, why is there no environmental impact report?
It's in process
yet?
right now.
Because the residents can sue you if you don't have one.
Sure, so it's in process right now. It goes through.
To pay it.
So there's different levels under CEQA that you can do. The highest level is an environmental impact report. Then you can do a mitigated negative declaration. You can do a negative declaration, or there's different exemptions you can do. This project is proposing to do an initial study mitigated negative declaration. It is in process right now, as I mentioned under Mario's question. It's in the administrative draft stage right now. We're hoping for it to go out for public review in about a month or two.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
And just to, we'll get to next. So let me just finish. So again, the reason why Meritage is doing community outreach right now is to get input from the community, because it has not gone to the planning commission or city council yet. So what they're doing today and what they've done, I think last week, is getting input from you. So
And just to speak to why it wasn't why it was a MND and not an EIR. So maybe you can speak to the process. We hire a third-party consultant who prepares it. They do an initial study checklist, and from that initial study checklist, it determines what they think the impacts are going to be. And depending on the severity of the impacts, you either do a full environmental impact report or you can do a mitigated negative declaration. And based on the initial study checklist, the direction forward was a mitigated negative declaration.
Okay.
So that document will be going out to public.
Where are you going to school all these children? Monte Vista is the closest elementary. My 2 grandkids go there. One has 32 and one has 34 kids in the class. Where are you going to put all these little kids that are going to find these little schools?
We are in declining enrollment. But that's a question that the school district.
Give her your business
Well, I'm just saying, you put a big structure.
So, okay.
That means you're crossing over, you got C and you got.
Okay, order in the court. Order. Calm down. Okay, guys, calm down. Let's calm down. The meeting's about to end now. Anyone else has one last question, and the meeting will end now because your city staff now have to go home and eat. So go ahead, JP, finish your question. Go ahead.
I did finish my question.
Okay, what's your question?
Simple.
Okay, go
Before
ahead.
Ms. Diaz leaves, she declared, or you declared on her behalf, that you had $3 million available in the PD's account, which is general funds. My question to you, and you deferred it to the, finance, how is it triggered? What is it used for? And if, in fact, it's general fund, why is it?
Yeah, great question.
Why is it being designated for each district and not
Okay,
in the general
great.
fund?
So you're talking about redevelopment funds and park funds and
Parks development.
Parks and development and parks and open spaces. And Mylan, go ahead and explain what that means. And after that question, we'll end this meeting. Marisa has her some flyers, some business cards. She'll meet you outside to give you this information so you can communicate with her directly. But I want to say again, thank you for coming. Your voice matters to me, and I'll continue to make sure you still continue to get input.
Brian,
I'm going to answer the question.
you're getting late. So the meeting's going longer.
But let Betty say something. Go ahead, Betty. Go ahead.
All I want to say is, it's a wonderful job on this